Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Melby Styles, Troy Shuka, Bo Snail, Joseph Pizarro, Samson, Maris, Mobile Max 777, Neo the One, Lost Cat FE, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Mike, Muted, Dick Earth Skeptic, NA Literalist, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Rob H, The Real Gabster, Windrider, Liam Nedrick Jr., Abraham Mohammed, Naibai, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic936, Life is Short, Fireball X, Texas Mike, Edwin Johnson, Kirsten Smith, and David Wayne Foster. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Also below this video there is a link to get £50 back for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. With that, I'm going to pass over to whoever is in Google and Discord so you can enjoy their conversation while I set up for today's live show.
Hey. Hello.
Hi,
What's up, Bowen?
what's up, y'all?
Yo, good Friday.
Nathan, you're late. People are complaining.
Now it's a good Friday.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's about time. I was going to start the show without you.
Oh my God, is this vacuum I'm hearing? Really?
All right, Neil.
On a freaking Friday? You better have something good today.
Like what?
You better have something good for your ball today. I don't want to hear no nonsense.
It ain't my ball.
come for the-
It's our ball.
But you just come for the free psychoanalysis again. All right, dude. How you doing?
Those scrambled eggs.
It's not hard to scramble your eggs, is it?
Mess around today, you get glassed.
Wow. I must make a big impression on you lot. Because that is months old, that one, Neil. That reference.
Once you say them, they never go away, my friend.
But there's a difference between big and bad.
I've made a bad impression.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think I made quite a good first impression.
I like him.
Thanks, whoever said that. Here's a challenge. Can anyone guess what this noise is?
Hopefully you leaving.
Toast. Toaster.
I don't want to know.
Cash register.
What is that? Because I'm from Liverpool.
Cash register. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what other than a cash register it's called. Typewriter.
That's me.
That's not even me.
So that answers my question. He's not going to come up with anything good today.
Who is?
What do you mean? We're having a good time.
That's what he gives us? Can you guess this sound? Oh my God.
So, was there a pre-show, or did Nathan literally just come online?
Yeah, he's
Probably
only
doing
just come here.
something.
Was it the sound of a horizon?
Definitely
Ooh, you were
not.
close. You're very close.
Oh,
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video, there is a link to get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now, we are joined by the Adam Meakin, Arwin, Neil, who else we got? Elijah, father of a stolen child, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I'll come in 10th.
You'll come in 10th. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to introduce you. My bad, 10th man. And 10th man. Good to have you. I've still got the lights on when I'm looking at the screen when I'm reading off your name, so it's my bad. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere-edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curvature?
Not from Nottingham.
I
And
hope-
everything from Nottingham is true.
Come on, vacuum. What do you got?
I've had a claim in my chat. I tried to explain it to him, who says that LIGO is some building with a 4-mile long thing, and yeah, when you look that up, it says that it takes into account for the curvature because of a meter. Yeah, just a meter difference in this 4-kilometer building supposedly proves that the Earth is curved, and that was his evidence.
Wow.
Well, we just found out how far a lie goes, 4 kilometers.
Right. Also, immediately after, I of course reminded him about the black swan. And he said, just one black swan doesn't mean there's no white swans.
Didn't I tell you this the other day?
You tell him, Neil. You tell him. I'll rephrase that. You tell him again, Neil. Tell him again.
Didn't I tell you this the other day? That's what they're going to say. It's only one picture. It's just an anomaly. It means they don't get the argument.
Yeah,
That's
but
correct.
Chocolate got him when he said if the claim is all swans are white and you see one black swan, is the claim all swans are white true? And the guy said no.
That's not what he asked. He asked, how many black swans do you need to disprove that all swans are white? And the guy replied, 1.
Yeah.
Aggressively, too. One.
Yeah. You tell him, Nathan.
Again?
How many black swans
Yeah.
does it require to prove that white swans exist?
How many black swans does it take to prove white swans don't exist?
White swans do exist. That's not the point of the analogy.
It's
Again, you don't
no-
understand the analogy. We're not trying to disprove
Yeah,
the
but it's a
existence of-
shitty analogy, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just going to swear through me pointing out that we're not trying to disprove the existence of white swans? That's not the point.
Sorry, Nathan. Sorry.
The point is that if we live on a sphere, all horizons would be geometric, and they are asserted to be so in your claim of geometry. And if you don't have a geometric horizon, as we are told in rebuttal to the black swan, then you don't have a geometric horizon. You don't have geometry. Earth isn't a sphere with sphere geometry if you don't have a geometric horizon. You need me to phrase it a different way? Maybe 6 different phrasings will help you guys understand?
Phrase it more honestly, Nathan.
Honestly, you don't have a geometric horizon. The horizon's not physical, it's not Earth curve. It used to be blocking boats and buildings and is still asserted to this day to be doing so in your geometry. So if you don't have a geometric horizon, you can't do geometry. Another different way, maybe phrase it again, maybe claim I'm not being honest. Excellent rebuttal, by the way.
Thanks.
Sarcastic. That was a god-awful rebuttal.
And we got your sarcasm, Nathan.
So do you have anything other than to say you're being dishonest, which is what you implied? No, I'm not being dishonest. We're told, and I
No.
quote,
No, you can continue.
am I being dishonest as you implied or not? Is that just a little jab at me for no good reason? Lack of respect, decided to imply that I'm dishonest. What a wanker. Now let's see if you can be
Don't
honest.
swear. Come on.
Let's see if you can be honest, as you've implied I'm dishonest. Do you understand that you require a tangent point, that's geometric horizon, to do geometry? Let's see how honest you are.
To do all geometry? No.
No, sphere Earth geometry with a physical sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curvature, as this question is specifically about that Earth curve edge that used to block boats and buildings as clarified and then claimed to be dishonest by you. So, it seems you can't be honest. You can't acknowledge the requirement for geometric tangent points in geometry. No, can't acknowledge that. Maybe it's you that needs to address your honesty, my friend. You haven't got a geometric horizon anymore. It used to be called Earth curve, mind you. It used to block boats and buildings as well now, didn't it? Waiting for a bit of honesty.
Thanks, Nathan.
Still waiting for that honesty. You implied I was being dishonest.
Oh,
Can I have an
sorry.
honest answer?
Was there a question in all that word salad?
Yeah, there is, yeah. Are Globers honest?
Probably not all of them.
You aren't.
Sorry. It's
So how long do we have to stick here? You've claimed dishonesty, and I've just rephrased the exact same thing 4 different ways. Now you're interrupting me. We're waiting for your display of honesty. Do you understand the requirement for geometric tangent point horizons for your geometric Earth curve maths? Do you understand that or not? You can say no, yes, and say how you do understand it and maybe repeat it back so we understand that you understand it. Or you could be very dishonest and just rattle around in your own little cage, ignoring the question, based on your claim that I'm dishonest. Outrageous, by the way.
Was there a question there again, Nathan?
Are Globers honest? Then I ask the same question again. Are Globers deaf? Do they have selective hearing? I could put a different question, but are you honest?
Am I honest? Yeah, I'm honest.
Excellent. So do you understand, in all honesty, that you'd require a tangent point to do geometry?
To do geometry on a piece of...
You could phrase the question back to me, or you could say, yes, no, don't understand, yes, I understand, and paraphrase it back to me. I gave you those choices as well. Seems you're not being very honest with us.
I didn't paraphrase, I clarified.
Okay. And do you require a tangent point to do Earth curve geometry or not?
On a piece of paper, yes, you do.
What about in reality, given that it's claimed that that is our reality?
Well, in reality, we don't draw geometry in reality on, in the air. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, we do. We've had people on this show drawing out these things in the air. There's a picture on screen that's been used to do exactly that. And the Isle of Man debate went on for quite some time with people doing precisely that. It seems you're not very honest about the Earth curve calculator, claiming that that's what pictures represent. Maybe you just don't understand what your Earth curve calculator
You said in reality? You said in reality?
Yeah, this is a picture of reality on screen. And it's of... What is that now? Oh, it's an oil platform from the Black Swan. And what do you know? We have that compared to Earth curve maths. That's our reality. And yes, it's compared to your geometry. I'm asking if it's reasonable to compare the two. Are your geometric maths capable of comparison to reality, given that the horizon's not geometric and not Earth curve?
I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Oh, right. Well, I'll tell you. It's not reasonable to assert that we have a physical blockage at the horizon because it's an Earth curve edge, as asserted in Earth curve geometry. Why isn't it reasonable? Because we've debunked the physical tangent point horizon formerly known as Earth curve. Now, if you're a dishonest glober, you'll come here and tell me that I need to phrase that more honestly. But there's no honesty required. It's a logical consistency that's been demonstrated with actual photos of a non-geometric sphere edge that's then told to us in justification as being non-physical. Even though you think, in your maths, based on what you compare to reality, you think that's Earth curve at the horizon. It isn't. We've debunked it. Seems a lack of honesty is what we're dealing with from the globe side in this regard.
So the black swan image, is that what oil rigs look like, Nathan?
Sorry, you're asking if a photo of oil rigs is what oil rigs look like? Yeah, photos of oil rigs are what oil rigs look like.
An interesting sort of comparison, isn't it, of an oil rig?
Sorry, the horizon's not about oil rigs, so you don't understand the black swan argument. Maybe you could give us the black swan argument so we can check whether or not you understand what the argument is.
No, I'm just interested. Is that
rather than interrupting me? You could listen to me and not detect that I'm now going to put you on the spot and get you to recite this claim, because you seem to think it's about oil platforms. Do you know the argument? Let's see if we can have some honesty. Do you understand the black swan argument? Could you recite it, for example? Let's see how honest you are. Yes, no, or recite it.
You want me to recite the black swan argument? I thought that was your job.
That's correct. Well, yeah, that's correct. I'm asking you to recite it.
No.
So you don't understand the argument?
No, I do. I'm just not going to.
So you can't recite it, but you do understand it. So something you cannot recite, you think you understand.
No, I didn't say I couldn't.
You seem to be stuttering. You can't recite it, but I asked if you understood it, and you said yes.
I don't think you understand basic.
You don't think I understand? What a total lack of respect. So here we are again with a complete idiot who doesn't understand the argument. He's discussing it, but he doesn't understand it. When asked if he can recite it, he says no, and then he's going to tell me I don't understand something. I understand how stupid you are. Lap it up, moron. You are thick. You're here on a show that talks about this daily, and you don't understand the argument. That's pathetic.
Default position.
Pathetic. You're another demonstration of ignorant globe belief. You don't even understand the argument. Why are you even here? Why?
It's Friday and I want to laugh and I've got nothing else.
A laugh? So basically you've come here to disrespect us. Get the fuck out of my show. So,
basically, that's what he does.
So that's what you globeheads think you've got in the face of a black swan argument that consistently destroys your globe argument, and when you try and defend it, you bury it further, but you think you can come and laugh at us. Yeah, that's the problem. You idiots who believe in a globe still think you've got the high ground. You think that on a Friday it's okay to come and laugh at us. No. What's actually happened is just berated that guy for his stupidity. He's in a debate forum and doesn't even understand what the debate's about. But yeah, he thinks it's reasonable, because it's societally acceptable, to berate me. Nah, that's not going to happen anymore. Yeah, I'm just going to call you a dick, demonstrate how stupid you are, and kick you out. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nonsense.
Nope. Stationary.
Just realized how I might have to renege on my bet because I said 14 months before they understood, and we're in month 15 now. So yeah, I was off.
How about they're never going to understand?
Chocolate,
That's what I said officially. Never. It's just
Chocolate,
never
you
gonna-
didn't know how stupid can get, huh?
That's good, Alwyn. Then you're on point.
Yep. But I also didn't think we'd be hearing, why would we expect to see a geometric horizon? We've never seen it. Can't see it because we have an atmosphere. I didn't expect all that. So,
What about optics?
I didn't expect to be reminded of our own argument that we've had for 4 years. Yeah, I didn't expect that either.
Yeah.
So,
And if you
bad,
did,
ballers.
if you heard the argument, you'd expect it to be part of their actual mathematics. I write optics, you say. So what's this 7/6 hour refraction and total lack of any perspective in the maths then? Optics? Yeah, we'd expect things like the Rayleigh criterion to be in there. Why isn't it? Oh, it's because you've taken that formula and you've called it Earth curve.
Well, what's crazy about the whole thing is that we're giving it to them on a platter because we're begging their question in a logical consistency form. I mean, it's like, here it is. This is what you believe. This is what you say. Let's check it out. Then they want to fight it and say it doesn't work. Well, do you know you're saying your position on the globe doesn't work then when you do that?
Yeah, because it kills them when you put it on a platter like that. They're dead.
That's what it takes. I say you're not allowed to beg the question here. Well, obviously there's an exception to every rule. If you can present their begging the question fallacy with a logical consistency that debunks it from within the logical consistency, then you're presenting an argument that's based on them begging the question and shows how it's not workable within the real world. Totally acceptable. However, to go round and round and round in circles with them, just assuming the Earth's a sphere so they can argue back and forth about something like refraction, when often people don't appreciate that their refraction's actually based on a radius value that's now debunked, those sorts of arguments just go in circles. Black Swan, on the other hand, when you get a rebuttal, they bury the model even further. They bury the model under, well, we've got a bent line to the horizon. Oh, right, bent line to the horizon. Well, you need a tangent. That's straight. So you haven't got a tangent anymore. Well, how are you going to do geometry then? You can't.
It's a good time to read the argument, if I may. If
Yep.
P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of observer's height in feet, Q, geometric horizon. Not Q, horizon distance is greater than 9.41 miles, therefore not P. Conclusion, Earth is not a sphere.
We only have one horizon, and the horizon in the geometric mathematics for Earth curvature is physical and geometric. The horizon we see in reality is apparent and non-physical. The horizon is not Earth curve. The evidence of the distance to the sun.
It's over there.
I'd like to know what the sun is.
The evidence for the distance of the sun is over there. Just have to get there somehow.
I heard a whisper that I think it was the Chinese claimed to be going there to the sun, presumably to affirm some sort of tangibility to this item. Interesting, eh?
But weren't they going to check out the surface for colonization? And I'm not even joking. That's the freaky part about it.
Good weather all year round.
They go at night time, don't they?
Night time on the sun. How's that work?
When you say surface of this gas, Owen, what?
I don't know, man. They still have to explore it. I don't know. It seemed so ridiculous. But I heard it that they were going to the sun to potentially figure out if they could use it for settling on. It's just what?
Settling.
When was this okay?
Settling like gas does, given that the entire thing is claimed to be gas, right?
I don't know how it came to this, Nathan. I really don't.
I do. It's perfect for their afternoon walk.
I don't get the pun. You'll have to break that one down for me.
They cook in WOK's cooking utensil walk.
Open walk. Brilliant. By the same token,
Wow.
absolutely awful.
I just had to stir it up. Sorry.
That's better.
terrible. So, are we all aware that the sun in their model is a second law of thermodynamics violation also?
I don't know, but I'm hungry
What
now.
model?
Yes, we're
Heliocentric
aware of
model.
it.
Hold on, Owen. Heliocentric model. Chocolate.
Oh, that.
I recently heard that it's a dark body or something like that, and that it can't reflect radio signals. So
That's correct.
that's not a way to detect the distance.
Black body.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's something I've only heard very recently.
Yeah, don't give too much away. Q's still waiting for somebody to fall into that little trap and assert that radio waves give us the distance.
Wait, don't give it too
Yeah,
much
'cause
weight?
that's what I
You
hear.
mean that gaseous body?
No, don't give too much away. Nobody's bitten on that little piece of bait yet. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Springs.
Oh, I was just going to say.
Springs? You mean in
Springs.
gas
Well,
molecules?
what is gravity?
I have evidence.
Anybody want to answer him? What's gravity?
Is it weight?
I have evidence of gravity. We have gas pressure here on Earth because
Hang on.
gravity is the container.
Time for the double fun.
bending. It's the bending of a conceptual medium that has been said to be the cause of a passive displacement here on Earth.
Wait
No,
a
that's wrong.
minute. I covered the both.
No, let's just get Arwin's definition in the right order. So the uneven distribution of mass causing the bending of space-time is the claim of current gravity. Now that, according to trench-level fundies, manifests on Earth as a force. However, it is not a force. So while Arwin's half correct, because that is asserted, as he stated, that isn't the rhetoric. Uneven distribution of mass causing the bending of space-time is the actual rhetoric. That's what gravity actually is currently.
Well, there isn't really any official rhetoric beyond it, so the trenchers just filled it in.
Yeah,
So
they're just
that's
making
why I
up.
say it is said, because there's nothing from their side to say, no, this is how it all works. No, they just leave it like that.
But when they are, they just ignore it anyway, or they're given a disclaimer that says you don't have to necessarily take this as read. So conceptually, it's not a force. In reality, it's not a force. But you can think of it as a force. And they go, I can think of it as a force. Yeah, you can think of it as a force. And I go, you can think of it as a roast chicken. And they go, yeah, you can think of it. No, you can't think of it as a roast chicken. We think of it as a force.
Do you realize they make movies about how they don't know what gravity is, but they're going to figure it out? I think the movie was called Interstellar.
Well, there's such a
Yes,
fuzzy
that's
line
correct.
between gravity as a phenomenon and gravity as a cause.
No.
Neither are explained very clearly.
Well, yeah, they are in mathematics. In pseudo-Riemannian force space, the uneven distribution of mass causes the bending of spacetime. That's what it's described, with a cause, uneven distribution of mass being the cause, and an effect, bending of spacetime. That's the cause and effect. Now you're saying in physical terms. Well, there is no physical terms. It's pseudo-force space. We don't exist in this place. It's just mathematical. There is no conceptual medium being bent that we can experience at all. It's conceptual.
I agree, but the term gravity is being used always, sometimes in the terms of a phenomenon and other times in the terms of the cause of an effect.
Yeah, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, but I hear people say all the
Yeah.
time, hold a minute. Is that possible to hold a minute?
No, it depends how big your box is.
Oh, another container?
Depends on the context of hold a minute. Is that literally physically grasping the minute as a reification of time? Or is it holding onto something a minute long, right?
It's
Well, neither are
time.
true
It's
in-
conceptual. Just hold it.
Neither are true in physical terms, and Arwin's got... You're correct on both counts, Arwin. Neither are true. You can't physically hold a minute. It's a concept.
Well, that's the second time Arvin's right.
Epic. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Is this something we have to ponder?
Well, Dr.
What about
Becky
the
has a new
so-called
video.
expansion of the universe?
Just so-called, name only, made it up, just a story. What about it?
Wait, Ted Man was talking about Dr. Becky.
Yeah, Dr. Becky posted a new video. I just saw it. I haven't watched it, but it's labeled, I believe, an astrophysicist watches the movie Contact.
Okay. Have you got to... See, that's not quite on topic, really. I suppose it is in a way, because it's claimed to be a dimensional travel that she does through this portal that they build a couple of. One breaks, one's kept for her to travel through to meet her father. Okay, fine.
But you can think of it as her father.
But what's that got to do with the subject? All that seems to hint at is that you've got a bit of a thing for Dr. Becky.
Astrophysicists. That's all they do. They just are conceptual, and they listen to iTunes and eat lunch and respond to email, and they get a degree. I think they're doing science. Now they're watching
Make money though.
I see. Now I see the context. What you're saying is, where Rob Ager would call that a movie review, she calls it astrophysics, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, proof.
A science review.
Science review of a fictional movie based on a loose adherence to a heliocentric reification of a philosophy. And she's going to assess that and call it science, is she? I see. That's very interesting. No, I do get your point now, 10th. I take it all back.
Does that mean if she brings up a child, that she brings up a child scientifically?
No. But that's what she might think. If she does it with a bit of maths, maybe. She brings the kid up by the numbers, then it's scientifically done, right?
By the numbers. That's a good one, Nathan. By the book.
No, numbers would be mathematically.
That's my point. Moving on. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Thea. Glancing blow. Glancing blow, Thea. They're good nighttime story. That's the only thing they got.
I don't think that's all they've got. That's just that's just the main story I disseminate in that regard. There are other stories. Other stories are available.
Yeah, they do have like at least 2 of them about the moon.
Had the moon formed, yeah, but this is specifically just there's an overlap with Thea because there's a claim that the debris from the collision of Thea coalesced through gravitational accretion into what we now call the moon. And that's why it's such a huge body and comparatively bigger than it should be compared to other satellite planets in the heliocentric model when they look at lights in the sky. But it also deposits its centre because of the glancing blow. So we end up with an oversized molten iron core. So there's an overlap between how the moon is created and how we have an oversized molten iron core that should have, by their timeline, cooled down. Well, why hasn't it cooled down? Well, because Thea smashed into Earth, didn't it? Did it? Yeah, we made it up ourselves. Now the timeline makes sense.
Was Thea going at magic speed?
It went at a magic angle. It caught at just the right angle to not destroy Earth completely, but also leave a large enough core for us to develop life. If it wasn't for Thea, none of us would be here. We've got a lot to be grateful for, really.
Well, if it's a molten iron core and they couldn't get the 8-mile super borehole in Russia somewhere, they can't even get those different levels right. How do they know that it's a molten iron core almost 4,000 miles away from the 8-mile hole?
They don't.
So they're guessing.
Guessing, they're just making it up.
Well,
Even
some guy
better.
told me it's like doing a sonogram on the Earth.
Any more for any more? Neil wants to go into P waves and S rays. I'm happy to pull it apart. If not, any evidence of the R
That's
value?
what they told me.
They told you a lot of things, Neil.
I still don't know how that would prove a molten iron core, though.
Doesn't. They haven't. It won't. We haven't. Most we've had on the molten iron core in a long time.
I've been wondering why the core would be dense at all.
What core?
Because at the core, the majority of mass is away in every direction away from you. So it'd be like zero gravity type effect at the center.
What's gravity? What
Nathan
core?
took the words right out of my mouth. I was just gonna say, what core again?
Yeah, I know.
What?
He's speaking as a heliocentrist right now.
What's that?
I don't know. I made the word up.
Heliocentrist. I don't know if that is or isn't a word. I'll have to look in the subtitles after this goes out live. So R value, any evidence thereof?
I was just going to do it.
I'll do a little blessing. Radius Dominus, Gravitus Spiritus Sanctus Arwin. Go in peace, in R you trust.
Not no more.
Shouldn't we say like rest in peace to R or something like that? Should we switch it up because they don't have R to trust anymore anyway?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Do you need to rephrase it because you can't actually trust in R anymore? That was only relevant when we pointed out that it's a begging the question fallacy, and they went, well, we already know it's a sphere, so it's perfectly acceptable to assume we've got a tangent point that we can get R from. Okay.
Yeah,
So in R you trust. But now, in R you trust, what? They trust in a tangent point horizon that they haven't got? You can't really trust in that, unfortunately.
it's perfect. RIP, R.I.P., rest in peace, and it's ripped.
We'll figure it out with a new blessing. Actually, I don't know. I don't want to bless them anymore. I want to tell them off. Like the guy earlier, Vacuum, right? They come into the show, and why are you here? Well, I want to laugh at you. So you've got absolutely no respect for us, in spite of the fact that we've got the winning argument and the high ground, and the debate has been settled. There is no geometric spheroid horizon. We're not spinning the Coriolis effect, and the sky is not a vacuum. The argument's over, but yet people still think they can come and ridicule us. You know, we are treated like dirt in societal terms. It's disgusting. And this needs to be addressed. If you're a transgender, you can go on your YouTube channel, like Joe Goes, and come out to the world about how you're all fearful, knowing full well that you've got the backing of governments and society, and if you are ridiculed, the person who ridicules you will be punished. Here, why are you here? Just to ridicule you, even though I don't understand any of the arguments and I'm thick. Yeah, that's not acceptable.
You don't need to bless him anymore because you don't give a rip. So I think the rip way is the best way.
Exactly. You'll have a better time coming out as a transgender in society than you will as a flat earther. Well, the Earth is obviously and observably flat. There is no demonstrable drop. Google Earth proves that. Go and have a look. No drop, no 8 inches per mile squared, based on a formula that's been debunked with the Black Swan. The whole assertion that we're on a sphere is complete nonsense. Yet it's justified that we get ridiculed. No, it isn't.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to identify.
We don't even
the
have a
flat earther.
geometric horizon for boats to disappear behind, as per their concessions now. But yet we're still being ridiculed. Like you guys are saying that shit, not us. We said if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, then you'd have this thing, because that's what you claim to have. And then you tell us we're strawmanning you? What?
The thing is, though,
it's crazy.
It works both ways, Chocolate. In other words, if it's deemed societally acceptable in this arena for that level of ridicule, then it works both ways. Hence, I get away with it when it's directed in their direction. Now, they don't like it. And often they'll go away crying to their mummies when it happens to them, because they're used to being in a society that protects them when they do it. But when it comes back in their direction, they cry. And that's what's going to be happening from now on. Because it's what deemed acceptable that I can be absolutely heinous to an opponent that just simply won't accept that they're wrong in a debate. Shouldn't be acceptable that I can get away with it. But it's deemed acceptable in this arena. Well, I'm in this arena. Does it matter that I'm not a globe believer? Nah, not at all. I can just demonstrate the exact same vitriol right back at them until someone says, hang on, this isn't reasonable. What we've had to put up with for 5 years. Yeah, you're right, it's not. It just gets highlighted when it's coming back in the globe's direction rather than aimed at us, which is deemed societally acceptable. No, not acceptable in any other arena anywhere. By any normal societal standards, the treatment flat earthers receive is abhorrent. But they're just flat earthers, right? No, Just people, like anybody else. Just people who've woken up to the obvious and observable nature of our reality, and then set about debunking the claims that are ludicrous that we're on a sphere. So that means we deserve ridicule, does it? Because you're all still part of that religion? That just makes you a cult, globe believers. A cult that attacks anybody that tries to get away.
So, Nathan, if I identify as a flat earther, will I have equal protection?
No. No, you open yourself up like a ginger in Britain. If you're a ginger-headed person in Britain, you're allowed to be poked fun at. Not a great comparison, but worthy of a laugh. For any ginger nuts out there in the UK, not your fault.
Yeah, but gingers don't have souls.
Let's not launch into them because they can border, straight to the edge. I love it.
Damn.
Straight to the edge.
I didn't know it was that real.
Right, let's not have a string of ginger jokes.
Yeah, it's a crummy argument. Isn't it?
Excellent. Anyway, on a serious note, if you were, and I don't think it's possible, neutral, you would look in on this and go, wow, wow, how the hell is that allowed to be tolerated? But people don't. They go, yeah, they're complete idiots. You're like, what, us with the logical consistency in the debunkings of a sphere that's no longer tenable in any way, shape or form, geometrically debunked? I don't think we're in the position that you should be ridiculing us. But as it's acceptable, we'll start ridiculing you and point out how stupid you are and how little you know about these arguments that we've had to learn like the back of our hand, because if we put a comma wrong, suddenly we're allowed to be ridiculed even more. Yeah, that's how it actually stands. But yeah, you guys can come here, chat complete nonsense, and still feel at the end of it, when it's been corrected, that you've got the right to, ridicule us some more? No.
I feel you. I mean, it's like, it should have stopped at water's level. But, they made us, well, maybe not made us, but I would say they made us fucking take years of research, excuse my language. And so now that we've done it, you still going to piss on my face? No, F you now.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what this platform is. This is what it was developed for. It's a debating platform. Now, I don't set the societal standards around me, now do I? Yeah, if those weapons are on the battleground, my encouragement, metaphorically, these weapons are weapons of debate, pick them up and use them. Why not? So it's acceptable in this arena for us to absolutely berate, or be absolutely berated, if we get something perceived to be wrong in your reification model. And if we don't understand that that's what's happened, you'll continue to ridicule even though you're incorrect. And when we point out how it's a reification and incorrect, for some strange reason you think you've still got the high ground and can ridicule us anyway. Well, no. What will happen is, that'll get highlighted, it'll get pointed out to the point the audience understand that there's not a concession coming or any humility coming, and then the ridicule will start. By flat earthers aimed at globers. With justified cause. And the standard, well, that's a societal standard, and I'm saying it should change, and until it does, that standard's going to be fired back at the globe believers. It's acceptable, right? No, but that's the way it is.
All day.
They defend it like they're defending their pride and their own self-identity.
Let's get them.
Well, it is their identity. That's why when they straw man us, they choose to think that that's our identity. And when I'm saying, hey, no, I'm an individual, here's my argument, they'll just reword what I say and then pretend that I've said that instead. I mean, that grinds my gears.
One more housekeeping question. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre? No, we've had that. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container?
Now, this is
Still
the
waiting.
best argument I think there is. Yeah, absolutely not possible. You could never even develop an atmosphere to begin with.
Spot on. Exactly. No? Nobody want to present 2 containers as an evidence of gas pressure without a container? Any takers?
3.
3 containers? Any advance on 3
4.
containers?
What? Anybody got more than 4? 4, and it's 4. So,
We're going 1,
4
going
containers. Gas fresh without a container sold for 4 containers.
Yep.
Chocolate, proud
Good
owner
price.
of containerless gas using only 4 containers.
Only 4, yep.
I think that's it. That concludes the housekeeping. Excellent. In good time too. 40 minutes into the live show. Nice even coverage of housekeeping questions.
Hey, Nathan, I've got a few slides I picked up from the internet, and this is the ballers saying the Foucault pendulum, Earth rotating. Give me a minute. I'd like to put it up and get the panel's view on what they're saying.
Sure. No
Okay,
problem.
I'll let you know.
Okay, no problem. Normally the point where I'd get farther of a... Oh, just came off mute by the pure coincidence. What were you going to say? John, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I actually thought of a globe benefit from, I listened to the show like 2 weeks ago about the globe benefits. I have one.
Well, by all means.
Well, if you think about like just the nastiness aimed at flat earthers, just how horrible people can be, maybe it's a good thing that there's a religion that keeps them contained where they're at.
So what you're saying is, if for the sake of argument, it was on the news tomorrow, yeah, actually Earth flat, then these particular types of individuals are nice and contained within a heliocentric framework, i.e. religion. So you can kind of separate them from the rest of society when they move on. Is that what you're saying? That's a fringe benefit? Well, you're all in a nice group now. There you go. You're all bloody heliocentrists.
Well, no, like the sociopaths rise to power, you know, like we haven't really got the best kind of governments or things like that, you know, like maybe heliocentrism is the best thing for humanity because it keeps it from spreading out.
My God, that's dark. Well, thank you for that.
I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, it's up on screen. Earth's rotation and revolution, right?
Yeah, so here's a slide with the title. Next one, Earth's rotation causes daily changes. The spinning of Earth on its axis, the imaginary line through the planet from the North Pole to the South Pole, is its rotation. The axis of the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees from a line perpendicular to the plane of its orbit of the Sun. Next, please. Earth's rotation. As the Earth revolves around the Sun, Earth's axis remains tilted at 23.5 degrees. The north end of the axis points towards the North Star Polaris. Earth rotates 360 degrees from west to east, counterclockwise, looking down from the North Pole in 24 hours and an angular rate of 15 degrees per hour. 360 to 24 hours is 15 degrees per hour. Next slide. Tilt the axis always stays the same. Okay. Next one. Evidence of Earth's rotation. So this is what we've been asking for, right, ballers? Now we just read your stuff. Now here comes the evidence. 1851, Foucault's pendulum will appear to change in a predictable way. Why is this evidence? There is no force acting on the pendulum to make its plane of oscillation rotate or go around its own axis. It would continue to swing in the original path if Earth did not rotate. Next. Then they showed this image. No force that makes a pendulum rotate must be the Earth that is rotating. Isn't this what we're always asking them? Does the Earth rotate underneath? And they have a hard time. So here they're admitting If it's not a force, it's got to be the Earth rotating. The next one is a pictorial of the Foucault pendulum. Next one, evidence of rotation or for rotation. Coriolis effect, the tendency of objects moving over the Earth, here we go, air, water, planes, projectiles, to be deflected, curve away from a straight line path. The French scientist Gaspard Coriolis first explained the deflection of objects moving over the surface due to Earth's rotation. The deflection is to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This deflection occurs because Earth's surface is rotating with respect to the objects. And I think two more. And here's an image of them trying to misrepresent Coriolis in the north and the southern hemisphere. And then the last one, the same thing, showing more like their hurricane argument. So interesting how they admit that it's Earth's rotation, right? And they say that it's the tendency of objects moving over the Earth, and in parentheses, are air, water, planes, and projectiles. How come they fight us on the planes when the planes prove there is no Earth-based Coriolis?
Because it's shrouded in doublespeak, but you're precisely right to use Foucault, and I use it for the same exact reason. The Foucault pendulum's moving backwards and forwards. Why does it knock over the dominoes? Well, because Earth's claimed to rotate underneath. It's not the pendulum that's moving off its course, it's Earth turning underneath that caused an apparent deflection. It's Coriolis. Well, that's what's being asserted. Earth turns underneath. Now, in these examples, you'll often find that they'll say, well, yeah, everything that's not the Earth turning is going to be deflected, even the air. That means that Earth's turning underneath it. Well, that's Earth turning underneath planes. Very clear. But if Earth's turning under planes, as it's claimed to, then they'd have their flight time shortened, and drones would drift away on the equator 1,000 miles an hour. That doesn't happen. So why do they say, well, they move together and defy the claim that Foucault's making? Well, because it doesn't happen. Nothing's drifting. This is a parlour trick.
Yeah, I think it was Elijah or somebody the other day talked about the person in Canada at the college that every day would go and by hand have to start it. It doesn't start on its own. And then there's these mechanical boxes on the top with gears and motors. So it's a total magician's trick.
Yeah, it's a parlour trick. But the assertion this parlour trick makes is that Earth turns underneath the pendulum. Pendulum's moving backwards and forwards. Well, why is it knocking over the dominoes? Well, because Earth's turning underneath it. That's Coriolis deviation. It only looks like it's moving off its back and forth path because Earth is claimed to turn beneath it. Well, if Earth turns beneath this pendulum to cause it to seem to drift and knock dominoes over, and Earth turns under a gyroscope to cause it to drift at 15 degrees an hour, then Earth turns underneath aeroplanes, hot air balloons, helicopters, or anything else that's left the claim to be non-inertial turning reference frame of an Earth that spins, and it would drift away. Not because drones can fly at 1,000 miles an hour, because it's claimed you're turning underneath the drone, and you go, oh no, my drone, it's going away 1,000 miles. That doesn't happen. Oh, I've arrived in only an hour and a half when travelling from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles, because Earth turned beneath me, to cause the effect of someone on the ground looking up and seeing me seem to curve off my path in the plane. Well, the guy beneath me is observing and not actual deflection because it's claimed Earth turned underneath the plane, and that's what shortened the flight time to an hour and a half, from 4.5 hours. Said nobody ever, because it doesn't happen.
We got any updates from any football coaches out there willing to throw that Coriolis calculation into their playbook? Like Neil deGrasse Tyson says, that makes it sound so easy that I don't know why every football coach in the world is not scrambling for this. Well, every game or every sport that involves a ball leaving the ground. I mean, you
Bill
would think this is
Belichick is going to jump
detrimental.
on it.
You would think this is crucial.
Yeah. And the bookies will look at wind direction on the day, but they won't take an overriding factor of the stadium direction based on Coriolis. That would be the ultimate overriding factor always. But no, the bookies will look at the weather and figure out which way the wind might be blowing to assist the ball. And then they'll change their odds based on that. Not based on Coriolis effect, which should always be occurring, but we never observe. It's only asserted to happen in balls when Neil deGrasse Tyson's watching. Then nobody else ever pays attention to it because it doesn't happen.
Do you remember the guy who put up the picture of the multiple cranes that they used to build high-rise buildings, and it was at the end of the day, and they've got the cable stretched out and the part with the hook, and it's perfectly still, and there's like multiple cranes. They're not swaying at all. And if the Earth was rotating the way they said, and if that's the cause of the Foucault pendulum, how come those cranes aren't experiencing the natural Foucault pendulum that they would have to if the Foucault pendulum was moving because the Earth was rotating?
Correct. They'd start moving. They don't, because Earth's not turning underneath. We're not moving. It's completely nonsensical to even assert it as an effect we observe, because we don't observe Coriolis deviation, as asserted Earth that turns would give you. So it's asserted we have Coriolis deviation, that's 15 degrees an hour deviation of things in the inertial reference frame observed from the non-inertial claim to be spinning Earth beneath them. We don't observe that effect. It is that simple. There is no Earth-based Coriolis effect. Coriolis effect itself is easy to observe. Get on a roundabout and look at anything that's not spinning with you, and it'll look like it's moving. Well, that's Coriolis deviation. Look at a tree as you spin around on a roundabout. Oh, the tree's coming towards me. Oh, it's gone past me. Oh, it's coming towards me. It's gone past me. That's Coriolis effect. The tree's not actually moving. You're moving. And the effect of it looking like it's moving, when it's actually got roots in the ground, that's Coriolis deflection. And not actual deflection, not actual drift. The thing's stationary in this example, but you're turning beneath it to cause it to seem to drift. And likewise, if you were beneath a plane and you looked up at it and we were turning beneath it on a spinning Earth, it would look like it's curving off its route. Now, in the plane itself, the plane's just moving straight. They don't need a Coriolis detector. Because the guy on the ground looking like it's seeming to drift, who cares? But what it would do is shorten flights when travelling west. Because Earth would be turning beneath the plane, shortening the distance, increasing the velocity of the plane, and shortening the time. So the duration, calculated with Earth turning beneath it from Charlotte, North Carolina, to Los Angeles, would be an hour and a half. But it's not. It's 4.5 hours. Now, some idiots on the globe side, people who will be berated in future when they come here, and don't concede that they don't understand why the Earth isn't a sphere after it's detailed to them, they'll assert that you get the opposite effect with a shortened time. Oh, well, this plane going east has got a shortened flight time. I'll hand over to Chocolate at this point, because he's the one who tends to deal with this, having worked in airports, and tends to bellow with laughter when these examples come out.
Yeah, because the flight time towards the west should be the one that decreases. But usually the flight time from west to east is actually shorter than the flight time from east to west. Why does that work if the ground underneath you is traveling from west to east?
They're correct for Coriolis.
It's the wrong way.
Nathan?
It's going the other way.
Yeah,
If they're
it's the wrong
claiming
way.
Earth's turning, it's going the other direction. But yet they'll claim, oh, well, this eastbound flight's got a shorter flight time, proving Earth's spinning. No, you idiot. It's the other way.
I got a picture for you for the cranes that you could post.
Okay. It's just a picture of cranes, but yeah. As we
Yeah, they
talked
should be
about
moving,
cranes,
right?
there's
If the
nothing
Earth
wrong
is
with that.
turning.
There we go. There's some cranes. Thank you very much. Everyone cool?
I think if I'm going to be fair, footballer, then in their claim for it to exhibit the motion or the deflection, the apparent deflection, it would require the cranes to be acting in a pendulum motion, taking them out of the reference frame.
Yeah, but what I'm asserting is that they would start moving if, for example, if you had an equivalent smaller crane or just a pendulum attached to a roundabout, yeah, and you spin the roundabout, what's going to happen to the pendulum, Adam?
Well, I suppose technically, if the bearing at the top's frictionless free, then things sat there, so it should rotate around it, shouldn't it? So what you should appear to see is the ball weight twist throughout the day.
Sorry, I should be a bit more clear. Like the cranes, in my example, you've just got a smaller version of a crane on a roundabout, and it's not moving. It's not moving back and forth. But then you spin the roundabout.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
What happens to the?
Well, you'd expect the crane to
start moving.
Lateral, translation of it, of that force.
Yeah.
Onto it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you wouldn't, if you're on a moving, rotating platform, you don't end up with this. You don't end up with this completely stationary. It should start moving like a pendulum.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right, but it's not because we're not moving beneath anything.
Yeah, but you should also see the rotation underneath, and you don't because it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. This has been the first enjoyable Coriolis show for a long while. Do you know what I mean? Actually talking about these things that often, or at least say 4 or 5 years ago, I'd see people describing them, but they didn't have a full understanding of what Coriolis was, how it was being claimed, how it was defended, how to overcome the defense of it on the globe side, how the contradictions work. People would just say, well, surely a pendulum would just start moving, then you'd never have one stationary. And it's like, the pendulum's not that useful for that claim. It's an interesting side note, but it's more interesting to use their claim in the affirmative against them. I.e., they say Earth turns underneath the pendulum. It's Coriolis effect. So that's an affirmation where in the arena, they'll actually try and work their way around the claim they've got Coriolis effect. So this holds them to their own claim. Because we don't see the effect, they end up arguing about why we don't see the effect, rather than demonstrating we do have it. So pendulum's great. Well, the pendulum in Foucault's example is an example of Coriolis with Earth turning beneath it. So that's the claim. Let's get it straight. You claim Earth turns underneath as a non-inertial turning reference frame. Well, that's your claim. Not it won't deviate because, which is what we end up arguing about. It just holds them to their own claim, basically.
It's just like the Black Swan modus tollens in a sense. We read back their version of what it's supposed to be, and they get destroyed with reality. And here on that one slide, that when it was Coriolis effect, they included air. So the air is not moving with the Earth. You're supposed to have a Coriolis effect of the air. And yet when the trolls come here and argue, they can't handle the position they hold because it doesn't vet out in reality. So they start making stuff up like the air is moving with the Earth.
Well, it's interesting you say...
Not only...
Go on.
Who was first?
No, go on.
Not only are they religious, but it's almost like they don't know their religion. So when you word it to them, they're like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You know? It's like, the fuck?
I mean, I was going to say to 10th, it's interesting you should say it sounds a bit like the Black Swan, because it was originally Quantum Eraser that turned me on to the idea of using the pendulum as an affirmation of their claim in the affirmative, because they always fight against their own claim and try and justify why we don't have drift. Well, if we're going to try and debunk the claim that Earth turns underneath and they immediately deny it because it doesn't happen, then you're in a deadlock, which is what happened for a number of years. But then you reach a point where you say, no, we can actually now tie you to your claim of Earth turning underneath. And in that regard, even Bob Nodell helped. When people go, thanks, Bob, 15 degrees an hour drift. Yeah, that's because Earth is claimed to turn underneath. That's what was claimed with the gyroscope and the pendulum, but doesn't manifest in the plane or the helicopter or the hot air balloon, because we don't have Earth turning underneath, even though it's claimed with these gadgets and gizmos, i.e. they're parlour tricks, not actual demonstrations of natural phenomena. And if you ask for natural phenomena, it can't be shown, because it doesn't happen. And you'll get into the wrangle-dangle of them defending the lack of drift when they claim that there's 15 degrees of it. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Below this video, there is also a link to get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on either premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
His coworkers about what Michelle Thaler says or some other thing NASA says, they say, "Get out! No way! No, come on, that's made up." But it's
Come
their
on,
claim.
man. Or they'll tell him to light your lighter. That's what's happening with gas.
Well, that will fire up a conversation for sure.
Doesn't it happen with Super Saiyan?
No, it happens with a big lighter. What are you talking about?
What?
Like that show, Dragon Ball Z, isn't it? When it's Super Saiyan, don't they, like, their hair go flying in the air or something? They turn on fire or something? I don't know.
Chocolate Serena.
Not going to answer, and his name is Chocolate Saiyan. Unreal.
Yeah, I'd no idea what that was until he explained what that was to me.
Well, I know my son, actually the baller one, he was really into Dragon Ball Z.
What, a Saiyan? Are we talking about Dragon Ball? What's going on?
Yeah, when he goes to Super Saiyan, don't something happen where they go on fire or something? What happens?
No, their aura just changes. Depends. That's how they get more powerful. So their aura changes, their hair changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, their hair. So like with the lighter, they become Super Saiyan.
No, that's what it is. That's what it is. When like Goku, the main guy, when he goes from black hair to blonde hair, that's Super Saiyan.
Okay.
They're
Somehow-
literally spinning ball space monkeys because they're literally monkeys from another planet.
Yeah.
Somehow-
That I know.
Somehow, Chocolate, I can't imagine you with blonde hair.
They are not monkeys.
They literally are monkeys.
I'm sorry.
Saiyans are not monkeys.
Well, it seems we found common ground. All right. Defending facts.
I'm a huge anime and comic head. Huge anime comic head.
No, why we don't just talk about stuff like that, man? Come on.
That's because the show is about the debate about the nature of Earth,
like that,
not about, what is it, manga? I don't know.
By the way, ain't it terrible what they did to the movie?
So, hang on, Neil.
The movie that we won't talk about ever.
Hey, Virus.
Wait.
Hey,
What
Virus.
movie? We don't talk about the
Evolution.
movie. I just
Ever.
forgot it existed.
Hey, Virus, what do you got to say about that Coriolis presentation from your own side saying the air is not going with the atmosphere with the Earth? What do you think about that?
I didn't know nothing about it.
Full
Smart
Coriolis
answer.
effect.
Hey, everybody. Good answer, Forrest.
Hey, Brian.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
What's up, Brian?
How are things?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that Coriolis argument thing or whatever.
The claim that
Yeah,
Earth
we
turns
know.
underneath,
Yeah,
Earth
we
turns
know that
underneath
for sure.
pendulums.
But
That's
you've
what it's-
been involved in it a few times.
He's only been here about 2
I
years.
mean, I know about Coriolis. I just don't know about the presentation you just talked about.
No. You don't know about Coriolis. Come on now.
All right, we can have a little test with him. Virus,
don't
what's claimed to be the cause of the apparent deflection in the pendulum? What's claimed to be the cause of that?
Of the pendulum? Earth rotating underneath it?
So Earth is claimed to rotate underneath things in an inertial reference frame. That's Coriolis effect. So you do understand.
Well, it rotates under the pendulum.
So it would also
It's
rotate
different than
underneath.
rotating under a plane.
It would also rotate underneath the plane if you've got non-inertial.
It's different than rotating underneath the plane. It's
How
different.
so?
You might as well be okay. If you say the Earth is rotating under the plane like it is under a pendulum, you're basically
No, we don't say that. You say that. Don't immediately turn this into a claim we're making. No. Let's get it clear because you're obviously thick. We're not saying Earth turns under pendulums. You idiots that think Earth spins claim Earth turns under pendulums. It doesn't. It's a parlor trick. But it's a claim we have Coriolis, and that would shorten flight times, because Earth would be turning under them, as is claimed to be the case. That claim is claimed to be proven by a bloody pendulum. Now, if you say, well, it's claimed to be proving it with a pendulum, but doesn't happen, then the pendulum doesn't prove it then. Earth not turning as claimed by pendulum, or Earth is turning underneath, and it would shorten flight times. It doesn't happen. So you can't have it both ways, and it's definitely not my claim that Earth turns under a smegging pendulum. It's your claim, dickhead. Do you understand it's your claim?
It's a plane, a pendulum. Nathan, it's a plane, a pendulum.
It's a good question.
No, is the Earth the
it's not.
Earth? Is the
It's
Earth
not the
Earth?
same because you're basically
Nathan, you compare. Yeah.
so you're basically saying
One at a
real
time.
question?
Who wants to have this debate?
Are you a
take it in
clown?
place.
Who wants to have
Do
this
y'all
debate?
understand when y'all say that? When y'all say that, do y'all understand that
I
y'all
want
saying that
that
a plane
guy.
is
I want that guy right now.
floating in
Is the
air
Earth
and
the Earth?
rotating in
I just
place?
have one question for
Right, I've
Virus.
got
'cause
three
I'm at
people
work.
talking. I
stick to it.
can't discern a single word. So, I was having a conversation with Virus. That's somehow descended into chaos. Some other guy piped up in between. Who wants to have this discussion?
I do, with that guy that popped up in between.
Okay, well, he's secondary to Virus, who's already got the mic. Who was the guy who popped up in between? Don't be shy. Samurai.
That sounds like
Fine. Virus, did you want to carry on with this
I'm with
conversation or not?
Okay, that's cool. I mean, but every time y'all say that the plane should rotate, I mean, the Earth should rotate under a plane. If
Fuckwit! We do not fucking say that! That's the second time, you stupid dick! Now, I'm not going to tell you a third, you complete clown. I'm just going to tell you off with the most vigour I can muster. So, you stupid dick, we do not say that. That is your stupid globe claim. Do you understand, Virus?
It isn't. Citation.
it isn't. Quit putting your claims on us, bruh.
Sorry.
Yes, it is.
I
Yes, it
do
is.
not claim this. Right? Every time one of you dicks who believes in a spinning sphere comes here and we point out what you claim, you immediately tell us that we claim it. No. Third time. Virus, shut up and listen. We don't claim Earth moves under dick. That's your claim.
Don't tell me what my claim is.
It's a sphere claim, you stupid idiot. I know what the globe claims. Whether or not you verbalise it makes no difference to the actual rhetoric claimed by a sphere Earth. Your opinion is merely your opinion, and it matters not to an assertion that Earth turns under inertial reference frames to give rise to things like drifting pendulums. That's an Earth sphere turning claim, not mine, you stupid boy.
Oh, okay, then how?
Good. Now sit down and don't raise my blood pressure any further. You're excluded from this conversation till I calm down. You've annoyed me with your stupidity. Yet another time, a globe earther and his complete ignorance has annoyed a flat earther to the point where it's got to tell him off. 3 times I've had to tell this complete idiot that this isn't our claim. Now, I realise that you've been poisoned by people like Simon Dan, who is also thick and thinks that this is my claim when we assert, as claimed by the globe, that you have a turning reference frame underneath stuff not attached. Not my claim. Now, you can go somewhere else temporarily and be as thick as Simon Dan. If Dan was here, I'd tell him off too for his abject stupidity. Let's get it absolutely clear. You thickos who think Earth turns, think it turns underneath stuff not attached. That is absolutely not my claim. Doesn't require debunking as my claim, doesn't require parroting back to me as my claim, as Virus has just done. Are you saying that Earth turned? No, I'm not. You dicks are. We're debunking it. Hope that's absolutely clear now. Right, Samurai.
Oh, I'm muted.
Yeah.
So first
I'd like
of
to
all, I
talk
want
to
to
him.
mention that Coriolis is not about the Earth rotating underneath something. It's about...
Oi, you fucking retard. Yes, it fucking is. Coriolis is Earth turning underneath stuff not attached. You complete fucking moron. Tell me again that Coriolis on an Earth that turns in a model isn't about Earth turning underneath stuff. You complete fucking moron. So I can tell you off too. You stupid boy. No. Earth turning has a claim of Coriolis. That's Earth turning underneath. Don't open your statement by telling me that isn't what Globe Earth claims. Certainly is what I claim, moron. Yes, that is what Globe Earth claims, Sam. While you interrupt me for the second time, I'm going to tell you and correct you, the thick globe-believing idiot, on the rhetoric you've just denied. Yes, Sam, you stupid dick. Globe Earth claims to have Coriolis. That's Earth turning underneath stuff not attached. Not no, Earth doesn't claim that, as you've just declared. You are thick and being told it by a flat earther. Now, you've got 2 choices. Accept and understand that that is absolutely what Globe Earth claims. Coriolis deflection because Earth's turning underneath. And then we'll move on. Or you can babble through me incessantly like the wanker you are that's here to deny your own stupid claim.
No, I'm going to educate you on
what... You're not going to be educating me, you thick shit. It's just been on screen for the audience. 10th Man made a presentation based on Foucault's claim that Earth turns under a fucking pendulum. Now you're here to tell me that's not what's claimed, you stupid idiot. Yeah, go and look at Foucault, you thick shit. That is absolutely what is claimed. It was presented by 10th Man. You're just globe-believing idiots that can't keep up with a simple presentation made by Foucault that's made very plain. Earth is claimed to turn underneath, Sam, you stupid idiot.
Nathan,
can I back up 10
Coriolis is not about Earth turning underneath us.
Yes, it is, you stupid globe-believing fundy, now being berated for the second time by a flat earther that has actually paid attention to the presentation about Foucault saying Earth turns under the pendulum. You're telling me that's not what it's about for the 3rd time, you complete mong?
So, Nathan, Coriolis is about the different tangential speeds.
It's about a non-inertial reference frame turning beneath an inertial reference frame. You don't know what Coriolis is, you thicko!
Nathan,
Don't sigh! Now I'm going to tell you off, you dumb shit! You've come here to tell me that Earth isn't claimed to turn underneath. Wrong! Go away, you globe-believing thicko, and learn your own religion better. That's absolutely what it's claimed to be. So wrong in the first instance. That is what Globe Earth is claimed to do. You've come here like the thicko that you are to deny the very claim Globe Earth makes. Now you've misdefined what Coriolis even is. You are thick. How does it feel to be berated by a flat earther for your stupidity, Sam?
Nathan, we say that...
Say my name, bitch! You don't know what Coriolis is. Meanwhile, every single flat earther on this panel knows exactly what it is, to the point where I'm telling you off, Adam's gone and dug up a reference to actually present to the audience to show them just how stupid you are.
Nathan.
Yo! It's on screen for my audience, you fucktard! Earth is claimed to turn underneath it doesn't, we don't have drift. But you've come here to deny the very thing Globe Earth claims and tell me I don't understand it or it's misclaimed by me. So fail on Virus's part to make it my fucking claim. No, it's not. But it is absolutely a claim you make that you're now trying to deny. We're waiting on you, you retard, Sam.
You're not letting me talk. I told you what Coriolis is. You said...
And you don't fucking know. Yeah, you've come here to tell me what's what, and you don't know. And as I've just pointed out, it's on screen for my audience. Hello? You've come here to tell me it's not Earth turning beneath it. On screen, from Foucault, underlined in black, Earth is turning beneath it. That is the claim that Globe Earth makes. You're denying it, you stupid, globe-believing idiot!
I'm saying, of course, Earth is turning, but Coriolis is not objects deviating at 1,000 miles an hour because the object is still moving at the same angular speed as the ground below.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's tell him again. You are as thick as shit. You're a globe believer who's being berated for your stupidity by a flat earther. You're thick as shit. Telling me that they move together is to claim they're not drifting, you stupid idiot.
Samurai, read the reference at 16 minutes after the hour. Out loud, please. Read it.
Once you have, I will rip you a new asshole, Sam.
Apparent effect illusion produced by a rotating frame of reference. This type of effect is also known as a fictitious force or an inertial force.
You're a dumb fuck. I told you to read the references at 16 minutes after the hour. You will do that.
Yeah, you're going to be doing what you're told, dumb shit. We're the flat earthers telling you what to do, and you're going to do it.
16 minutes after the hour, please.
Wasn't I doing that?
No.
I was reading what you posted.
No. Read it again. 16 minutes after the hour.
16 minutes after an hour.
And then
I don't see another one.
Then be prepared to be told off by me again, but hopefully with some humility afterwards from you.
Okay.
16 minutes after the hour, dude. It's sitting there in bold. Coriolis effect.
Hurry up, you stupid globe-believing idiot.
I was...
Get on with it. How long can it take you to read something, you stupid idiot?
Okay.
Hurry up.
Because you interrupted me. I was reading it and you said I wasn't reading.
Hurry the fuck up, you stupid globe-believing idiot.
I'll go ahead and read it. From Physics About, Old Physics About, Coriolis effect is an apparent effect, an illusion produced by a rotating frame of reference. This type of effect is also known as a fictitious force or an inertial force. The Coriolis effect occurs when an object moving along a straight path is viewed from a non-fixed frame of reference. Typically, this moving frame of reference is the Earth, which rotates at a fixed speed. When you view an object in the air that is following a straight path, the object will appear to lose its course because of the rotation of the Earth. Here comes the really important part that destroys your numptiness. The object is not actually off its course. It only appears to be doing so because the Earth is turning beneath it. Duh! You don't even know your own religion.
So, Sam, would you like to tell me that it's not the claim Earth's turning beneath it, so I can rip you a new asshole for your abject fundamentalist religious zealotry and stupidity of your own claim?
First of all, I have a question. I was reading.
Not a question! Some fucking humility, you stupid dick! You are thick! You've come here to tell us it's not Earth turning beneath stuff. You were wrong, you stupid idiot. Now you're going to get told off for how stupid and incorrect you were. You're going to be berated by a flat earther with the most venom I can muster. You stupid globe-believing retard. Wrong, retard.
Of course, the Earth is rotating. And
sorry, you said it wasn't turning beneath stuff. I've pointed out that that's absolutely your claim and it would shorten flight times, and you've come here to deny that that's what's claimed.
So first, all flight times are shortened, but the other way around you would expect.
Sorry, you're saying flights are shortened in duration?
Yeah.
You thick shit.
Not the way you expect.
You thick shit. You think that you have an hour and a half flight time from Charlotte to LA because Earth's turning underneath it? You abject moron.
Claim. That's not our claim.
Sorry, you're now going to tell me what your claim is, and it's claimed Earth's turning beneath flights. You've just said yes. I point out the effect would be an hour and a half flight from Charlotte to LA, and you say that's not what we're claiming. You are thick. All of you globe-believing idiots are the same as this guy, trapped in cognitive dissonance. And from here on forward, you're going to get somebody with a wry smile like me ripping you a new asshole for your stupidity and globe belief. You don't even understand your own claim, Samurai. You're thick, and I am proud to be the flat earther to tell you so. Humiliating, Sam. And you've got nothing to say for yourself. Being corrected and educated by a flat earther while you brace against it and insist that we listen to you tell us what Coriolis is, while we dig you out references that you fail to even read. Speak up!
I don't...
Speak up, Sam Rye, you thick idiot with a globe belief who doesn't understand what Coriolis is and is now being berated by a flat earther. Is this all you've got? Stone cold silence?
I tried to explain it to you, you said nah.
Yeah, you tried to explain it to me, but you're a moron who doesn't understand it. Therefore, you were corrected by a flat earther and your stupidity was pointed out to you. We know you tried to tell us, but you're ignorant and we know far more about the subject than you. So in spite of you coming here to tell us, we corrected you, you dumb shit. Hello? You're the one being corrected, in spite of you coming here with your total arrogance to tell us. You should be ashamed of yourself.
He still thinks he's right.
Yeah. Like always, these globe-believing fundamentalist religious zealots have their inconsistencies and errors pointed out to them, and they still think they've got the high ground. He still thinks he's justified in telling me he's come here to tell me about how fucking wrong he is. That's what you've done, Sam. Come and tell us how wrong you are, and how stupid you are, for an audience. Aren't you embarrassed, you stupid idiot? You're an embarrassment to globe faith. You understand now that globe is claimed to turn underneath stuff and that would manifest in shortened flight times, you dumb shit? Speak up, Sam! Display your arrogance again and tell us how you've come here to tell us. Come on, tell us how you've come to tell us how wrong you are and how stupid you are and how ignorant you are and be corrected by flat earthers who know better. Tell us again how you've come to tell us, Sam. You absolute piece of shit. You deserve this treatment. You deserve to be berated by a flat earther for your ignorance, because you are ignorant, Sam. You're thick, and I'm proud to tell you that. You are the globe-believing retard being berated, and I'm the righteous flat earther who understands not only your claim, but how it doesn't work. You fail at the first hurdle and don't even understand your own claim and insist that it's not claimed by Globe Earth, that Earth turns underneath stuff. You stupid moron. How many more references do you need, Sam? Come on, pipe up and tell us again with your righteous indignation how you've come to tell us. Good dog. sit down, stay on mute, and know how stupid you are. You hear me, Sam, you thick idiot? Good. Stay off mute and be berated. Be on mute and have my tongue kept in its mouth with its disdain for you and your stupidity.
Just heard what QE read.
Say again.
I hope Virus heard what QE read because he's guilty too.
They're all guilty. They all think they need to justify why we don't see drift when it's claimed by the globe they have drift. This moron comes here like Sam. Are you going to interrupt me, Sam?
He just reposted.
Do you want me to respond?
He just reposted my citation that says the Earth moves east underneath the object.
Sam, you came here to tell us it doesn't turn underneath stuff, you stupid shit.
No, I didn't.
Sorry, it's recorded.
Yeah, you did.
We are on a recorded show, you stupid idiot.
You literally said, "I'm here to educate you." That's what you said.
Nathan, I said multiple times, of course, the Earth is rotating, but the Earth is not, the deviation is not 1,000 miles per hour on the equator, for example. On the
No, it's not, because it's not occurring. It would be if it was, though, you stupid globe-believing fundy. It's asserted we would have that effect. We don't have that effect. That doesn't mean it's not asserted that we'd have that effect, you stupid globe-believing moron. Not having the effect isn't proof that it isn't claimed to be there, you stupid globe-believing moron with your cognitive dissonance. You think telling me that there's not 1,000 miles an hour drift on the equator is proof that it isn't part of the claim, you stupid idiot? Is that what you're suggesting? Because it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean it's claimed. Yeah, it doesn't happen, but it is claimed.
Nathan, from the source of QE, this occurs because as something moves freely above Earth's surface, the Earth moves east under the object at a faster speed.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that the object is standing still.
Under the object.
At a
That's our
faster
point, you
speed. The
knucklehead.
faster speed is the important part.
I see.
Hey, knucklehead.
It's
No,
moving
it's
a
not.
bit
He didn't
faster
say
than the
that.
object.
You're a moron.
So,
But
Sam,
it says
so Sam, objects have their drift accounted for in this description because Earth turns beneath it, correct?
The rotation of Earth is the main cause of Coriolis. If the Earth wouldn't rotate, Coriolis wouldn't exist, of course. But Coriolis is mainly about the different speeds of objects.
Sorry, is that from the citation, or did you just make that up?
Speeds of objects.
It's in QE's citation. It says,
Shut up. The whole point was the Earth was rotating underneath the object. That's the whole point, knucklehead. You just read it.
Yeah, it's claimed by Globe Earth that Earth turns underneath things that are in the air, and that would shorten flight times.
It is moving at a different speed underneath it.
Yeah, so depending on where you are on a presupposed spherical Earth, the flight times would change in terms of how much they'd be shortened. They're not shortened, though.
Do you understand?
Nathan, okay, I have a question. One object is moving at 1,001 miles an hour.
Shut up, you're the dumbest person in here. Do you understand that the Earth is rotating beneath objects, causing, you know what that word means? Causing Coriolis effect. Do you understand?
In the heliocentric model, not in reality.
It's moving at a different speed.
Oh,
it's moving
God,
underneath it
shut
at
the
a different
fuck up.
speed.
Yeah, so if it's moving underneath a plane at a different speed, it would shorten flight times.
You want to still talk to this knucklehead?
I quite enjoy telling him off. He represents every fundy who's ever ridiculed me ever, and apparently that's tolerable, so I'm just going to behave like that to him when he's wrong, and I'm justified in pointing out how wrong he is and why he's wrong, with everyone around me providing him with citations exactly how he's wrong. Because drones don't drift away 1,000 miles on the equator, according to him that means it's not part of the claim. No, because drones don't drift away on the equator, the claim is debunked. Not that you don't make the claim anymore, it's still definitely a globe Earth claim that Earth turns beneath stuff not attached. that would cause drones to drift away 1,000 miles an hour on the equator. It doesn't happen. So he's saying because it doesn't happen, that means it's not my claim anymore. Yet still your claim, we've just debunked it because drones don't drift away 1,000 miles an hour on the equator and flight times aren't shortened, which they would be if Earth turned beneath them, as you've just read out twice, but came here to claim that's not what Globe Earth claims. It was recorded. Now you're interrupting while I point out your lie, doublespeak, contradiction that you've denied and was recorded. That's what you came here to claim doesn't happen. No, Earth isn't claimed to turn beneath stuff. That was what you came in with. Yeah, it is. It just doesn't happen.
I said the Earth is turning. I said the Earth...
Yeah, I know you can beg the fucking question. Don't chant that Earth is turning now when we've debunked the effect that that would induce. Drift that we don't see. Don't just fucking chant you're begging the question at me. I know you can assume Earth turns, dickhead. No shit. Wowee, you're a fundy. Give yourself a cookie. Yet we know you can beg the question that Earth spins. That would induce drift at 15 degrees an hour and shorten flight times. Hello?
Nathan, can I ask you a question?
You can suck my balls and enjoy the aftertaste, you fuckwit fundy with a globe belief. If we had Coriolis, flight times would be shortened and drones would drift away 1,000 miles an hour on the equator. It doesn't happen, not because you're not claiming it, because it's not happening.
Nathan, one question. An object is moving 1,001 miles an hour. The Earth is moving 1,000 miles an hour.
So in his example, we've got a drone on a roundabout, and when the drone lifts off the roundabout, it carries on spinning, but at a very slightly lesser rate than the roundabout. No, you don't understand how physics of roundabouts and drones work. If I launch a drone off a roundabout that's spinning, it doesn't carry on spinning with it 1 mile an hour slower. You stupid idiot.
First of all, you're comparing Earth to a roundabout. That's...
Yeah, because it's Coriolis deflection, non-inertial turning reference frame and inertial turning reference frame. Earth claimed to be a non-inertial turning reference frame. Roundabout is a non-inertial turning reference frame. They're absolutely claimed to be parallel, in example by a turning Earth. In other words, like a drone on a roundabout, it's claimed that it would leave the surface and the roundabout would continue to turn under it. Likewise, it's claimed that you lift off in an aeroplane and Earth continues to turn under the plane, and that would shorten flight times. It doesn't mean that they're not comparable because it doesn't happen. It means that Earth doesn't have this effect.
Nathan, you go in a roundabout, you throw a ball up. What will happen to the ball?
It'll deflect. It's called Coriolis deviation. As you observe it going up and down, you continue to turn underneath it. It's called Coriolis deflection. Likewise, on a turning Earth with Coriolis deflection, I'd throw a ball in the air and it'd drift away from me. That doesn't happen.
Nathan, if you're on a roundabout and you throw a ball up, it will move in one direction, a straight line, because it's not attached to anything anymore.
Meanwhile, as I turn underneath it, it appears to deflect because I turn underneath it, giving rise to something described as a Coriolis force. That would be a not actual force, apparent deviation, i.e. the ball you describe going up and down in a straight path seems to curve because on a roundabout, I'm turning underneath it. And for that effect, called Coriolis deviation, to be in effect on Earth, I'd be turning underneath aeroplanes. Doesn't happen, though. We don't see aeroplanes with shortened flight times. They're not drifting because I'm turning underneath them. Earth isn't turning underneath them. Earth doesn't have Coriolis effect.
Nathan, we can make predictions and measure this deviation.
What deviation would that be then? Sorry, are you now going to give me an example of where we observe deviation on an Earth that turns? Tell me where we observe this deviation on an Earth that's turning. Where are we seeing things drift? Planes don't do it. Drones don't do it. Helicopters don't do it. Hot air balloons don't do it. So what does do it? You're now going to claim Earth turns underneath something to give us drift. What's doing it?
Nathan, in 1891, I think it was, someone.
Sorry, in 1891, I want something that I can go to now to observe drift. Because planes don't do it, and helicopters don't do it, and drones don't do it. So what does?
We have to go to 8.
Nathan, this deviation was measured.
Sorry, this deviation you're assuming without exampling, this deviation you're assuming that takes place in a model that doesn't occur in reality, this deviation that you claim won't happen because it's not claimed to be happening, you're now going to tell me about this deviation of Earth turning underneath stuff and not tell me where it happens, right? And calculate it without showing it me. Where's it happening? This claim that you were here to tell us doesn't happen.
I can show you this calculation.
Not the calculation, you stupid moron. What part of show me it happening in reality don't you understand? Are you deaf? Are you stupid? I don't want a calculation. I want to see things drift as Earth turns underneath them.
It was done so in a tower. A ball was dropped, and this ball deviated one.
Oh, so Earth turned underneath this ball that was dropped then?
The ball had a different tangential speed than the Earth rotating underneath.
So Earth rotated underneath it then? A different tangential speed to the Earth rotating underneath it? Well, then the Earth would be rotating underneath aeroplanes, and that would shorten their flight.
First of all, we've measured this.
Sorry, you're ignoring me. I've pointed out that you're now claiming Earth turns under a ball that's dropped in a tower that's in the air for a couple of seconds. Well, planes are in the air for hours and they don't have their flight time shortened because Earth isn't turning underneath them, but you think it turns underneath a ball dropped in a tower. That's a contradiction. Maybe now tell me how Earth does turn underneath this ball that's dropped when you came here to tell me that Earth turning underneath isn't what you claim because it doesn't manifest in planes. So let's be clear. Doesn't happen in helicopters. Doesn't happen in drones. We wouldn't expect to see a drone whiz away at 1,000 miles an hour. And we wouldn't expect Earth to be turning underneath any of them. But we also simultaneously expect Earth to turn under a dropped ball, right?
Nathan, first of all, the ball is at a different altitude. So the ball has a speed of, let's say, 500,001 miles. The Earth underneath rotates at a different speed, like we said.
So the Earth rotated underneath then. So we're very clear he's now claiming Earth turns underneath stuff at a different rate.
Nathan, can you finish?
What, the Earth turns underneath stuff at a different rate? Yeah, that's a claim that Earth turns beneath stuff at a different rate, and that would shorten flight times. Because Earth would be turning under them at a different rate.
This deviation is only 1/24th of an inch.
Sorry, the deviation of Earth turning underneath aeroplanes at a different rate that we don't see? We don't see that. Sorry, this deviation you're detailing doesn't happen.
Nathan, in my...
Sorry, this deviation that happens under aeroplanes as Earth turns beneath them at a different rate does not happen. No Coriolis effect. Earth not turning beneath planes at a different rate, my friend. Not happening. Earth not turning beneath stuff. Maybe justify why it doesn't happen.
Can I get a citation, first of all, for that?
Sorry, it's not my claim. It's yours. You've just told us how Earth turned underneath this ball that was dropped at a different rate. And I point out that Earth is claimed to turn underneath stuff at a different rate, and that would shorten flight times. And you asked me to cite my claim that Earth turns underneath planes? You fucking retard like virus. This isn't my claim, you stupid shit. It's yours, and it doesn't manifest in reality. Therefore, what, I should cite your claim because it doesn't happen?
Nathan, does a ball have a propulsion like a plane, first of all? Is a ball the same thing as a plane? And is the plane moved, fixed to the Earth?
Sorry, is it claimed that Earth turned beneath the ball at a different rate? Yes. So Earth turns beneath stuff and you're interrupting me. Coward. Earth turns beneath the ball, it'll turn beneath an aeroplane. Neither are attached to Earth. Doesn't happen, though. seem to be ignoring my question that I've restated about
The
5
ball
times
was-
and asking me a new question about the difference between balls and aeroplanes, like I give a fuck. It's claimed by you Earth turned beneath the ball and it's a different rate. That would manifest in flights because they're not attached to Earth, like the ball. It doesn't happen, so you think a question for me is in order. It's not my claim. You don't need to question me on this. You're claiming Earth turns underneath stuff at a different rate. We just don't see it because drones aren't whizzing away from us and planes haven't got their flights shortened in their duration. So you've got a contradiction in terms on your hand. According to you, Earth turns beneath the ball that's dropped, but doesn't turn underneath anything else.
So Nathan, first of all, the ball is first attached to Earth because he's in a tower. The ball is in a tower. But then, as soon the ball drops, it isn't attached anymore to Earth.
And a plane leaves the ground, takes off, and was with the ground attached to it by wheels, and then it leaves the ground, and would have Earth turning underneath it if it was turning. And from the ground, you'd see it seem to drift away, because you were turning beneath it to give you Coriolis deflection. Unfortunately, though, planes don't have their flight duration shortened by Earth turning beneath them when they're no longer attached like your ball. It's a contradiction.
Look, one question.
No, my nuts on your tin-chin, as Rumpus would say. No, you've got a contradiction. You say Earth turns beneath the ball at a different rate because it's not attached. And planes are also not attached, but don't have Coriolis deflection observable. Contradiction, my friend. Maybe address that before a question for me.
It's a claim that there's no Coriolis deviation for planes. And not the 1,000 miles per hour deviation. The Coriolis deviation, please.
The gas is attached?
Everyone but out.
The atmosphere is moving with the Earth.
Oh, well, then there'd be no deflection then, would there? If the atmosphere was moving along with Earth, then Earth and atmosphere have the same rate as the ball that you dropped, and it wouldn't have Earth turning beneath it at a different rate. So, it's claimed Earth turns beneath stuff. We've got that absolutely and unequivocally clear with this moron who didn't understand his own argument and came here to challenge us on our reassertion of a globe claim. We also had Virus challenging us to prove it as our claim. When it's a globe Earth claim, we debunk. The way we debunk it is as follows. It's claimed by pendulums and gyros that Earth turns beneath them at 15 degrees an hour. It's also claimed by this clown that Earth turns beneath balls that are dropped in towers. And Earth turning beneath balls in towers at a different rate would mean Earth turn beneath aeroplanes at a different rate, and it would shorten their flight times. It would also mean that Earth would turn under drones at a different rate, and they'd drift away from you. That doesn't happen.
Nathan, a simple question. One object is moving at 1,000 miles per hour, the other is moving at 1,001 miles per hour.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. You can't show me that. This is an absurd example. That's not occurring unless you beg the question of an Earth that turns at that rate. So no, that doesn't occur. You're never going to demonstrate it. Who gives a shit?
So you're not answering my question, so this debate is over.
About a hypothetical scenario where you have two items moving at 1,000 miles an hour and 1,000 miles an hour. It's not going to happen. You're never going to show that in reality. Ever.
Nathan, it was a question.
About some hypothetical maths that ignores the contradiction of Earth turning beneath a ball you drop and Earth not turning underneath drones, aeroplanes, helicopters, hot air balloons, or anything else that leaves a non-inertial turning reference frame that is claimed to be an Earth that spins. You're ignoring the contradiction and asking me a hypothetical question about things that move 1,000 miles an hour that I don't give a shit about.
Okay, Nathan, you walk with your friend, if you have one, along the street.
Sorry, was that a personal attack? You fucking retard. You go away with your brain cell if you've got one, Mr. I don't understand what Coriolis effect is. I don't think it's comparable to show a roundabout compared to Earth. You're a fucking retard. Question my social status, retard. You don't even understand what Coriolis is, and you can question my social status with an example about friends if I've got them. Brain cells, if you've got them, retard. It's claimed Earth turns underneath stuff not attached. You gave us an example with balls that are dropped, and that would shorten flight times. But you're too fucking stupid to understand that. So you need a flat earther to point it out to you while you attack him personally. Because you, like all arrogant wankers who claim the globe, think you got the fucking high ground. You think you can attack me personally, do you, dick brain, who doesn't understand this subject?
Nathan, please answer my question. You
suck my balls. You want to attack me personally on my social status? I'll call you what you are. A thicko who doesn't understand what Coriolis deviation is. Doesn't think that a roundabout's comparable to a claim of Earth spinning. That's you, a thicko. You clear, thicko? Question my social status again, retard.
Nathan, please. You have 2 and 1. What's the difference?
Sorry, my friend. Earth doesn't turn underneath anything. You said it turned under balls, and that would shorten flight times. Maybe talk through me asking you for the 7th time to justify your contradiction. You said Earth turns underneath balls that are dropped at a different rate, so Earth would turn underneath an aeroplane, a drone, a hot air balloon, a helicopter, a ball thrown in the air, you if you jump up and down. That's a contradiction. You're going to address that or maybe ask me a barrage of questions and ignore this one indefinitely. You coward, globe-believing moron who doesn't understand what Coriolis is and thinks it's fair that you should question my social status in a rebuttal you haven't given yet. You unbelievable coward moron.
So first of all, Coriolis is happening with planes and stuff, but not in the way you think.
Oh, Coriolis is happening. So from the ground, I observe a plane drifting because I'm turning beneath it. So that would be something that would shorten its flight times, me observing it drift because Earth turned beneath it. Doesn't happen. Flight times aren't shortened. Planes don't seem to drift because Earth turns underneath them, you stupid boy. Why are you interrupting me? The dumbest person here. You've just said planes do experience Coriolis. Shut up, you stupid idiot. You don't have the high ground. You're getting continually berated by a flat earther for your ignorance. You've just asserted that planes do have Coriolis. That would be me turning beneath them, seeing them seem to drift. So you're saying Earth turns beneath planes, and that would shorten their flight times, my friend. That's the contradiction you're yet to assert. And now you're saying Earth does turn beneath them, so we see them drift. With constant interruption, because I'm highlighting a contradiction by a clown idiot who believes in a globe and doesn't understand Coriolis, and then thinks it's reasonable to attack my social status. What a clown! You're an embarrassment.
Nathan, to continue, could you please answer my question? What?
You can suck on my balls. There is no question for me. I'm not making any claims. You claim globes turn beneath balls that are dropped. I point out that would shorten flight times. You say, yeah, we do have Coriolis in aeroplanes. Coriolis would be induced as I turned underneath them, and that would shorten their flight times. 8th time, my friend. Maybe I should answer your question. Maybe the dumbest person here should be in control. No! The flat earther's the one demanding an answer. He's asked it 8 times, based on your claim that Earth turns beneath a ball that you drop from a tower. And Earth turns beneath planes, so we see them seem to drift. That would shorten their flight times. 9 times. Hello?
Nathan,
contradiction.
What's the difference between 2 miles an hour and 1 mile per hour, please?
Oh, really? What, in a ball that you drop? Yeah, that would manifest in shortened flight times.
I got you don't know.
Sorry, did you say you don't know?
Nathan.
Say my name, bitch. Yeah, you say it. Keep saying my name.
So please, I just want to answer my question. I'm asking
making
this
yourself
since
sound
half an
so
hour.
stupid.
You said Nathan don't know.
Yeah, ad hom.
Why don't you just try to understand your own claims before coming here with this nonsense, bro? Like, seriously, you're making yourself sound ridiculous. I'm not even, like, joking or trying to get at you. Like, you actually sound ridiculous.
Thick. That's what you sound. Like all globe believers. Thick. Just too stupid to understand how we don't have Coriolis. That's the problem. Just too stupid, Sam.
You don't understand Coriolis.
Oh, I see. I don't understand a non-inertial spinning reference frame like a roundabout turning beneath an inertial reference frame to cause not actual deflection as you turn beneath it. I don't understand that. No. You are merely projecting your insanity and stupidity onto me. Thicko.
Nathan.
Say my name, bitch. I do understand Coriolis. Not only do I understand it, without references in front of me, I can recite it nice and concisely as I rip apart your globe belief. The Earth does that.
What could you answer my question,
Samurai,
please? One object is moving 2 miles an hour, the other is moving at 1 mile an hour. To do it easy, you have 2 apples, you take 1 apple away. How many apples do you have left?
He's just talking through you.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. Samurai, what you can do is get the flight data from the planes that go from Rio to Montreal and prove your claim. Show the deviation that you're saying happens in the way it happens through your globiolis. You're claiming globiolis.
Interesting.
So get the flight
could you
data
please answer
that
my
supports
question
it.
now, Nathan?
You can suck on my balls. Can you suck on my balls now? Come round, paint my house. Yeah, you're not in charge. You're not in the high ground position to demand answers of me, you fucktard. I am. I'm the one who does understand Coriolis. I understand how the globe claims it. I understand how you hijacked the effect, and Brian's trying to detail globiolus, which is what you want to assert. Yeah, we understand every aspect of this argument. We are far more educated in Coriolis than you will ever be, Sam. You are not in the high ground. You are not here to demand questions answered. Absolutely not. What you can do is justify how we don't have the contradiction you're describing. That'd be Earth turning underneath a ball that you drop and Earth not turning underneath aeroplanes to give you Coriolis deflection, precisely as Globe Earth claims, and you simultaneously deny.
You see the way, Nathan, when we gave
Okay,
him an actual way of demonstrating his claims, that he completely ignored it, completely, not even a mention about flights from Rio to Montreal. Completely ignored any demonstration of his claims, any way to back up his claims. All he wants to have is numbers on a page, and he wants the whole world to accept that.
Go to a math forum,
He
you
wants to
retard.
talk
Nathan,
about
I'm honestly
conservation of
struggling to
momentum.
see if you... Nathan, I'm honestly confused right now if you don't know what 2 minus...
Yeah, you're here to test me, fucktard. The thickest person here wants to test my knowledge. You don't know what Coriolis is. I've demonstrated that for the audience. Everyone around you is giving you citations that provide you wrong. But you still feel like the arrogant fuck that you are, that you need to test me. The arrogance, it's absolutely off
I want
the
to make an
scales.
argument, what 2 miles per hour...
Yeah, you're going to ask me questions. Yeah, no. This isn't a claim I'm making. It's a contradiction you've made. Earth turns beneath ball that's dropped. Earth doesn't turn beneath planes. That's a contradiction. And 10 times you've had it highlighted to you. You think you've got a question for me?
He needs a DeLorean. He needs to go back to 1881. We're in 2021 here, and the first plane that ever flew was 1903. Get out. End this thing. This guy's nuts.
Yeah, he has no respect, Nathan. No respect whatsoever.
Yeah. He still thinks he's the teacher here. The arrogance is off the scales.
I'm asking you a simple question to move on with my argument. And you can't answer 2 minus 1. That's... Oh my god.
What the fuck? You unbelievable prick. You're going to descend it to that level, you unbelievable bastard. Is that how arrogant you are? You're going to flail in the wind of your contradiction with Coriolis effect under balls that are dropped but not under planes, and then claim that I can't minus 1 from 2? What a wanker.
I'm asking you since half an hour. What should I conclude?
Sorry, you think this has any relevance to Earth turning beneath stuff as a non-inertial spinning reference frame and things drifting in an inertial reference frame, you stupid idiot? Fuck off to a maths forum.
That was a deflection. He's stuck. He knows that he has to go to 2 minus 1.
No, he has to watch what happened to Anakin when Obi-Wan was on the high ground. He got his legs and his arms chopped off, like you.
No, he's of the opinion that we are so stupid that even in the face of total defeat, he can say, no, the reason I can take this attitude is because you're so stupid you can't minus 1 from 2. That's why I can take this high ground and feel that I'm totally justified in being the teacher here and ascertaining your level of knowledge. Go fuck yourself, you stupid Mongol. You haven't got a clue about this subject. You don't know what the globe claims. You defend it as not being the claim and then say that it turns beneath a ball, completely contradicting yourself. And then upon 11 renditions of that contradiction, you've got the gall to claim that I don't know how to do basic subtraction. What an outrage! You total prick.
Yeah, Nathan, he's after being indoctrinated into thinking that flat earthers are so stupid that even after he has had his arguments handed to him over and over and over and over within the space of an hour, right, he still comes back with the attitude that he can't be wrong because flat earthers are stupid. He can't be. This is what's going on in his head. But he is.
Well, he avoided your Rio to Montreal question real quick.
Didn't
Of
even
course,
acknowledge it.
Yeah, because that means actually going and proving your claim. That would be proving your claim. London to Lagos, Rio to Montreal, there's loads of flights. Prove it.
Well, that's true.
He won't.
That brings me nicely onto Quantum Eraser, who got props in the live show for exactly that, Brian. You don't need to get them to go away and do a damn thing. It's written down. It was presented by 10th Man. They claim Earth turns beneath. Pendulums, gyroscopes, footballs, bullets. Just hold them to one of them. Go and get citations that say, here you go, here's your claim. It says Earth turns beneath this bullet. It says that the sniper's got to track the target because when it leaves the gun, it's going to have Earth turning beneath it. Yeah, so that's their claim. Don't need to go and get them doing anything. Don't get them doing flights and coming back later. No, here's your claim, Coriolis. Foucault pendulum is a claim of Coriolis. Earth turning beneath it. There you go, that's your claim. No, Earth doesn't claim that. That's what Sam's done.
So it should
Even
be
air.
turning beneath the gases as well.
Yeah, even air, it said.
Must be for there to be drift. That's the point.
Well, they don't mind using the gases when it's a hurricane, but they don't like to use the gases when it doesn't work.
Never works. There is no drift. Nothing's drifting away from anything ever. The hurricanes is a nonsensical example when it comes to Coriolis because it's not actual deflection observed as you turn underneath. I.e., when you say, oh, it's the air swell. If you're on a roundabout, does the air move with the roundabout? Of course it doesn't. It's absurd. Well, that's the claim that Globe Earth's got. Earth turning beneath stuff. Simple.
I'm just thinking of the cognitive pain you have to be in to say, yeah, this pendulum is apparently deviating because the Earth is rotating underneath it. But then above the building where the pendulum is, there's a plane flying, but the Earth isn't rotating underneath that plane. That's hilarious.
That's what I was saying. And Coriolis is a claim of the globe that, right? Because the Earth is spinning, there's a Coriolis effect. So why don't I see it anywhere?
Because it doesn't happen.
Because the Earth's not spinning.
Exactly. So what the freak am I
And in
arguing
order
about?
for it to be spinning, it would need to be a ball. And it's not a ball.
Apparently it was observed once in 1893 when someone dropped a ball down a tower.
Hysterical.
And about the same time, we got Foucault with his gyroscope and his pendulum, asserting the same shit. Earth turns beneath these things, that's why they're going off their course. They're not really going off their course, it just seems that way because Earth's turning beneath them. Oh, right, yeah. And then what's that you say? The handbook for snipers says that they've got to track the target, lead the target rather, because the Earth's going to turn underneath the bullet after they've fired it. Oh, right, so Earth's going to turn underneath bullets, is it? And Earth turns underneath the pendulum. The pendulum proves that Earth's turning beneath stuff. Oh, right, I see. What's that, Neil deGrasse Tyson? Earth turned underneath a football when it was kicked. It curved through the goal, but it didn't really curve, it just seemed to because Earth turned beneath it. It's Coriolis effect, right? So we're very much established in this claim from Globe Earth that Earth turns beneath stuff when they leave a non-inertial claim to be turning Earth. Oh, right. What about the blimp film in the game? Is Earth turning underneath that? No! What about a hang glider? Is Earth turning beneath that? No! What about a helicopter? Is Earth turning beneath that? No! So what you're saying is anything that's in the air for a substantial period of time, Earth doesn't turn under it. But anything that's in the air for a fraction of a second, you'll assert the Earth does turn under it. I see. That's just a contradiction in terms. Either Earth turns underneath stuff or it doesn't. If Earth turns underneath stuff, we'd notice. Flight times would be reduced. Charlotte to LA would take an hour and a half.
In Taiwan, Nathan, there is a building. It's called the Taipei 101. It was the tallest building in the world for a long time. In this building, there is a damper system, an earthquake damper system, which is basically a huge, basically just like a huge pendulum. And the whole idea is that when the earthquake happens, the building moves, and because of the earthquake and the movement of the building, the pendulum within it also will move. And that moves counteracting the movement of the building, so it causes a shudder as opposed to a shake of the building. Now, that stays completely stationary and never moves, because if that was moving, the building wouldn't be there. But that stays completely stationary all the time. It's a huge pendulum.
I've got footage of that. I've seen it. Can't quite touch it. You can't reach it from the balcony, but yeah, they have tourists go around it. So you go into that part of the building. It's about maybe 2/3 of the way up, and the pole it sits on is maybe 40 foot long, and the ball itself, that's the bottom of the pendulum, is about 10 feet, maybe 12 feet in diameter. And I looked at it. I was like, oh, fascinating. So straight away, because I had connection on my phone to do so, I went on and looked online and found a bit of footage of it actually swinging. So there was people in that gantry when an earthquake happened, and they've got literally footage of the building and the pendulum moving, to counteract the swing of the building when the ground beneath it moves. So there's some pretty scary footage. You can look it up on YouTube. I'm sure it'd be there somewhere. You could find it, of the pendulum actually swinging when an earthquake goes off in Taipei 101. It's an amazing building. There's loads of little like nuggets in that building. When I looked around it, it was a fascinating building. But yeah, as you say, when I went up, it was the tallest building in the world. And just while we're on the subject, again, it was another thing that flashed before my eyes when Math Powerland mentioned that the Earth was flat. I pictured being on top of Taipei 101 because it's an amazing view. You're looking over the city, so you're looking over the top of skyscrapers. You're looking down on skyscrapers from a considerable height above them, often, the height of the clouds. And you can see forever. You can just see for miles and miles how flat it is. It just looks, because it's all like any city. It's all laid out in little flat squares. You look out miles and miles and miles and miles and see these flat squares as far as the eye can see. And you're looking down on all of them to the horizon. And you go, oh, wow, it's so flat. But there we go. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, that building alone, considering the view you have from the top, and the fact that the damper system stays completely stationary unless the earth underneath the building is moving. And the damper systems are in every big building in the world. Every big building, the Burj Dubai, which is 3/4 of a kilometer high, that has its own damper system. All damper systems work the same way. They have to be completely stationary, but they have to be able to move if the earth underneath it moves. So damper systems are completely fly in the face of the claim of earth movement. But yeah, I'd love to see that building. I would love to go there and see it, because I have a thing for that too. I have a thing for buildings like that.
See if I can dig out my video before we finish this stream. I can't remember which of my channels I've got it on, so it might take me a couple of minutes to find it, but I'll have a look, see if I can find it.
Thank you.
And the arrogance of him too. That's what pisses me off.
Can you tell Akumu to read the citation that Quantum posted and that I reposted?
Can you just read it? Is that possible?
I think he's eating sweets or something.
Can someone read it? Has someone got access to it while I'm doing something else?
Where is
Can I just point out to the guys in the live stream that was Elijah in the chat? Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, we know.
Thank you. Yeah, because we're having a little conversation. I told him to get on mic.
Yeah.
And then they play all of these dumb games. He's saying that Earth's rotation has nothing to do with Coriolis. So I just want him to read the citation. The main cause of the Coriolis effect is the Earth's rotation Okay, so seeing that that's the case,
Where's the deviation?
So sad.
It's so plain to me.
Somebody dying.
That's the
Yeah,
sound of
someone on the Hangout.
Who jumped off a building?
that's the sound of the
somebody
rails,
just
right? That's the
died.
sound. You can't see it. I'll post it in the chat so you can have a link to this video. Found it pretty quickly actually.
I bet
But
somebody
that's the sound of
died.
the rails. So they've got 8 foot, 9 foot rails that curve over towards the balcony that you stood on top of the building on to stop you jumping off, obviously. But when I went up, they'd closed the top of the building because the winds were too high. Now I greased the palm of a security guard and made my way up to the top of the building on my own, right? Which was epic. But then I realised why they'd not let tourists on there that day, because it was really windy. And the poles were making that noise. They were just resonating at that frequency, and it was just absolutely deafening. It was really mad. Anyway, there you go. That was me up Taipei.
Everybody was just panicking on here. They thought it was them. It's not me. It's not me.
that was the
Elijah.
that
Sorry,
was the
Elijah.
Taipei 101 railing.
Cup your mic, Elijah. Cup your mic.
Yeah, I thought he was in the underground.
I'm like, no, stop it. Is that how I sound? Damn.
Yeah, it is how you sound. Yes.
I'm so sorry. Never again. I'll be more careful.
Maybe not quite that bad, but yeah. Okay, so I've stuck that in Skype if you guys want to look at what it actually looked like. I did show it for the audience's benefit.
Thanks, Nathan.
Like 12 years ago or something now. Me looking a lot more handsome and young. God, that's depressing. When I was all super fit. Anyway.
I created a couple of damper systems myself.
Oh, that was just giving me a...
I
Sorry,
just
Brian.
wanted to finish off my point. Why I was Nathan, good.
Go ahead.
I was asking you the question 2-1 because the difference of the speed of the Earth rotating is 1 kilometer per hour on the altitude 10 kilometers.
Yes, I understand that.
The Earth
yes, I understand that.
plane
Okay, keep babbling.
1 kilometer.
Okay, keep
plus.
babbling with the same fucking thing. Yeah, I understand you're saying the Earth turns underneath at a different rate. Yes, I understand what you're claiming.
So look, Nathan.
So how do my balls taste when I ask how the flight times don't have a difference when you're claiming Earth turns beneath them at a different rate?
Look, let me make my point first.
You've just made your point. Your point being Earth turns beneath stuff at a different rate.
Degrees north. No, do you agree that at 10 degrees north, the ground is moving at 1,021 miles per hour on the globe?
No! We're not on a globe. Now, I can agree all day that your stupid model you reified does that. But when I ask you to show it me in reality, you're going to tell me all about how it does it in the maths, right?
No. They measured the deviation. They did. The ball fell down onto.
Mate, I don't need you to circle jerk us around the same fucking argument again. Yeah, we know. We've summarised it with you interrupting us constantly and chanting that Earth turns as we do so. It's been 11 times that I've summarised. You claim Earth turned beneath a ball that's dropped. You've clarified now for our benefit because it benefits us. Yeah, you're claiming Earth turns under it at a different rate. That would shorten flight times. How stupid are you?
Okay, Nathan.
Not okay. That debunks the claim we spin.
The plane, which is 10 kilometers higher up, let's say it accelerated with the atmosphere, then the difference in speed is 1 kilometer per hour. 1 mile per hour approximately, or 0.6 miles per hour to be accurate. So after 4 hours of flight time, what is the difference?
You're
of this
talking
deviation?
about
Let's say-
conservation of momentum. That's not Coriolis.
Yeah, it seems you don't understand what
No, we
Coriolis
have
is.
the plane object.
Sorry,
Let's say it's
okay.
stationary
Sorry.
up there, and
Okay,
it's
hello,
moves
Sam.
at the same speed as the atmosphere.
Sam, I've heard you. Yeah, I'll respond. Someone else decided to. So you're asking us about a difference in speeds as Earth rotates beneath stuff, correct?
I'm telling you that the difference in speed is only 1 kilometer per hour. If the plane is moving east-west or west-to-east. We're not taking air into account.
So there is a rotation speed then.
Guys, hello. I'm waiting for him to finish so I can respond to him.
Oh,
Let's try that again with 5 people interrupting and Sam then repeating the same shit again. Yeah, I get what you're claiming, Sam. Earth turning beneath stuff at a different rate. Correct?
Yes, 1 kilometer an hour, the difference.
Okay. And that effect is observed from where exactly? Coriolis.
No, I did this to address your point that you said the flight.
I didn't ask you what you did or why you did it. I asked where Coriolis was observed from. You stupid deaf idiot. I'll ask again while you continually interrupt me. Where is Coriolis effect observed from?
Nathan, after 4 hours of flight time from east to west, the difference would be 4 kilometers.
You dumb shit! You don't understand a simple question? We're talking about Coriolis effect. Where is it observed from?
We observed this Coriolis effect in the tower when we dropped a ball and we measured the deviation.
Only in the tower, or is it not generally observed from a particular reference frame? Do you know which reference frame Coriolis effect is observed from? It seems like you don't. Yo! Thick shit with a globe belief! Which fucking reference frame is Coriolis observed from, you stupid moron? Hello? Sam, you thick fuck! You don't know which reference frame Coriolis is observed from, Sam? Are you looking it up on Google, you retard? I thought you were here to educate us. Oi! Thicko! Sam, why aren't you responding? Which reference frame is Coriolis observed from? Hello? Cat got your tongue? You stupid moron?
Could you repeat your question?
Which reference frame is Coriolis observed from?
The one on the ground, I would say.
Sorry, you think the one on the ground is a name for a reference frame, you thick shit? What are the 2 reference frames in Coriolis? Shut up! Shut up! Stupid idiot. What are the 2 names of the 2 reference frames in Coriolis effect? Go! Thick shit.
You're screaming at me the whole time. What the fuck?
You thick shit! Is one of the frames of reference in Coriolis called the one on the fucking ground or not? Thick shit with a globe belief. Is one of the Coriolis reference frames labelled, quote, the one on the ground? Thick shit. Thick shit.
No.
Thick shit. Oh, right, you stupid thick shit. When I asked which frame it was observed from, you said the one on the ground, you thick shit. Why would you say that, you thick shit?
Honestly, you're insulting me.
Because you're a thick shit, that's why, Sam. Would you like me to educate you on the names of the different reference frames in Coriolis? Because you think one of them's called the one on the ground, you thick shit.
Nathan, can I also insult?
Can you tell me what the 2 reference frames are in Coriolis effect, something you're here to argue about, and don't even know what the 2 reference frames are called? I'm waiting, thick shit, with the globe
I just
belief.
told you.
You told me the one on the ground, you thick shit. You also told me, no, that's not the name of one of them. You thick shit. How does it feel to be told you're thick shit by a flat earther with my righteous indignation in doing so? You are a globe believer who is thick. You are here to debate about Coriolis and you can't even name the 2 reference frames. You unbelievable clown.
It's all because you say it.
Sorry, what are the 2 reference frames called, clown?
Nathan, come on, it's funny. You don't know how to convert me.
Oh, it seems that you're now going to launch into an ad hom. What a surprise. Sam Rye, the thick shit, doesn't even know the name of the reference frames.
Nathan, you have a triangle with the sides 1, 1, and 1.
Talking about something else, you flailing spastic.
Okay, you don't know it. Amazing.
You thick shit. Oh my god, you literally don't even know what the names of the reference frames are.
Kilometers, meters, or
You
meters?
thick shit. You still think you've got the high ground and you're going to launch into a load of ad homs against me? You fucking cunt. You are the thickest person here, Sam. You're not going to launch into a load of ad homs against me, you thick shit. You don't know what the names of the reference frames are, you thick shit.
What is this? This is fun. I love this.
Laugh it up. You are thick. And you're being told so by a flat earther who knows what the names of the reference frames in Coriolis are. You unbelievable clown, Sam. You've been demonstrated to be stupid and you think you can launch into attacks on me? Oh my god, how unbelievably pathetic. What are the names of the reference frames in Coriolis, Sam? Yo! I'm talking to you, Sam!
Nathan, you couldn't answer what 2 minus 1.
You seem to be not telling us the names of the 2 reference frames in Coriolis, what you've come here to argue about, Sam. Just for the audience's benefit, it's because he doesn't know them. Thick shit.
None.
What are they called?
Haven't I told you just?
What are they called?
Inertial, non-inertial.
Oh, so not one on the ground then?
God damn it.
Plead to God as I humiliate you.
Oh,
That's
he
right.
will.
The one on the ground not referencing anything to do with Coriolis effect. Excellent. So, I'll ask my question. We finally got to it, Sam. Which reference frame is Coriolis effect observed from?
Nathan, why should I answer a question from you if you can't answer?
Yeah, I bet they're salty. Yeah, I'll bet they are. You're a thick shit with a globe belief, with a laughing flat earther telling you how it works and what's what. That's right, mate. Maybe launch into another load of personal attacks against me. Which reference frame is Coriolis observed from, Sam? Then we'll move on to detailing the projectile's differential speeds, based on which reference frame we're going to be observing this effect from. Take your time, my friend. Need it 5 more times, Sam? Hurry up, thicko. Which reference frame, globe-believing idiot, is Coriolis observed from? Why aren't you answering me, you dumbo? Need a bit more time to Google search this?
First of all, you stop insult me.
I will call you the fucktard you are. You don't even know the names of the reference frames. You had to look it up on Google while I spent 5 minutes berating your dumbass. Yeah, I will insult you with absolute justification, you thicko. Tell me not to again so I can do it with total justification again. Go on, ask me not to insult you so I can call you a thick shit who hasn't got a clue what he's arguing. Plead to God for me, Sam, you pathetic globe-believing slime. Which reference frame's it observed from, Sam? Can't you keep up with the debate? Have you shut down mentally or what?
To mention it isn't a debate, it is...
Which reference frame is Coriolis a claim that globe Earth uses to prove its spins, observed from, you stupid globe-believing idiot. It's absolutely a debate. It's just one way you're getting annihilated by a flat earther who knows what Coriolis is, unlike you.
You're a flat earther who doesn't know what 2 minus 1.
Which reference frame is Coriolis observed from?
Nathan, what is 2 minus 1?
So he's still getting away from his point. He's got a differential speed, 1,000 miles an hour, 1,000 miles an hour, and 1, right? Well, I'm asking him which reference frame we observed this effect from, and he's asking me about how to minus 2 minus 1. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you, you dumb shit. But you don't seem to be giving me an answer. Maybe you don't know. You can say I don't know if you have some humility. If you don't know which reference frame you're observing this effect from, Sam, just say, I don't know. Still Googling it, Sam? You're not answering me, Sam.
How did this guy get through school?
Hello, Sam, which reference frame is Coriolis observed from? It's a globe claim, supposed to be proving we spin. Don't you even know which frame of reference you observe it from, you thick shit? Why is it that I am in this position to call a globe believer here to defend something that's supposed to be observably obvious? We're supposed to be on a sphere, right? It's supposed to be spinning. We're supposed to have proof of it, and we're all supposed to know it's true. Yet I, as the flat earther, am in a position to absolutely ridicule this globe-believing clown who doesn't even know which reference frame Coriolis is observed from. How pathetic! Be ashamed of yourself, Sam. You're thick as shit. Not doing a very good job of representing your globe, brethren. Why aren't you telling me which reference frame it's observed from, Sam? You need a bit more time to Google search. Hello? How long is this going to take, Sam? How long does it take to Google search something that you've come here to fight about and defend? 4 more minutes of Google searching, Sam, before you tell me which reference frame Coriolis is observed from, you thick shit. I'm a flat earther telling you how thick you are, Sam, and you're not telling me which reference frame Coriolis is observed from. Why not? Is it because you're stupid? Is it because your globe beliefs led you into the point where you're arguing with a flat earther, and all he has to do is ask you which reference frame it's observed from, and you don't know? Maybe ask me about some basic arithmetic, Sam. Hello? Oh, he's Google searched it. Go ahead, Sam. Let's see how Google did for you. Which reference frame?
Nathan, I'm not bothering to answer you if you have a note.
You don't seem to know which reference frame Coriolis is observed from, Sam. Why aren't you just answering the question? There's only 2 to choose from. You could pick 50-50. Just guess. You've only got 2 choices. You've got a 50% chance you'll get it right. Now you've named what the reference frames are called. One of them's not one on the ground, thick shit. Remember, you telling us the one reference frame that we're going to observe it from is the one on the ground?
The one on the ground.
Yeah, that's not one of the names of the reference frames, though, and you haven't told us which one we're going to be observing it from. You thick shit with a globe belief, being berated by a flat earther.
One from the air, sorry. The one from the air.
You think we observe Coriolis effect from the air?
I think we observe it from a plane, to be honest.
You think we observe it from a plane? Don't seem to know.
Sorry, I mean the pre-inertial one.
Sorry, the pre-inertial reference frame? Is that a new type of reference frame beyond the non-inertial and inertial? Is there a pre-inertial? This is the 3rd reference frame, Sam. I'm very confused. You thick fuck. What's pre-inertial mean, Sam, you thick shit? You stupid bastard. What the fuck are you talking about, Sam? Pre-inertial, you've just made that up, you thick shit. Hello? Why aren't you responding to me and telling me how I don't understand this stuff? What the fuck is pre-inertial, you stupid globe-believing clown? You don't seem to be detailing pre-inertial to me, Sam, you stupid idiot. Is Google failing you? What's pre-inertial, Sam? You're the righteous glober, right? You know this stuff, right? You're here to tell us what's pre-inertial.
Sorry, I misquoted. I mean the post-inertial. The post-inertial.
Post-inertial? What the fuck's that? So we've got non-inertial, inertial, pre-inertial, and post-inertial. That's wrong. You don't know what Coriolis is. You're thick. Okay. Which of these reference frames is Coriolis observed from? Which of the 4, given that Coriolis only has 2, which of these 4 you've just listed, you stupid idiot, is Coriolis observed from, Sam? You still haven't answered me. It's been about 15 minutes. What a
Only 2
thicko.
of them exist.
What a thicko. Thicko doesn't know which reference frame you observe Coriolis from. What a thicko. Why are you here arguing this, Sam? You don't even know the answer to this question.
The mid-inertial one? The mid-inertial one?
You've said it with an upward inflection. Is that your final answer? Inertial one?
Question.
Are you asking me? Yeah, ask me to educate you. Don't just offer the answer with an upward inflection, you thick shit. You can respect me and ask it as an actual question. You can say, is it the inertial reference frame, Nathan? You can ask it as a question.
I'm guessing. I'm not scrolling.
No, you just infer it as an answer. So I'll take your answer to be inertial reference frame then. So in answer to my question, which reference frame is Coriolis observed from? Your answer is inertial?
Post-inertial.
Sorry, I'm waiting for Sam to say yes.
Pre-inertial.
Sam,
now
everyone else shut up. Everybody else shut up. Sam, you've said inertial with an upward inflection. Is that the answer to my question?
Maybe it's also intermediate inertial frame.
That sounds very vague. It sounds like you don't know, you stupid globe-believing moron. It's just a simple 50-50 to guess inertial or non-inertial. Not pre-inertial or post-inertial. You stupid idiot. But you're still yet to answer. It's been about 18 minutes since I asked you this question. A lot of Google searching, a lot of silences, a lot of me justifiably calling you an idiot. But you still haven't answered. You've said inertial with an upward inflection. And I'm asking, is that your answer? Stupid idiot.
No, I said pre-inertial one with upward.
So you think the pre-inertial reference frame is where you observe Coriolis from? That's wrong. You are thick as shit. How does it feel to be thick as shit?
That proves he doesn't know what Coriolis is.
How does it feel to be told by a flat earther that you are demonstrably thick as shit? That's wrong, Sam. Don't seem to be responding to me with your cocky arrogance about how you'll be telling us what's what. You don't seem to be giving us the correct identified reference frame for the observation of Coriolis. You don't know anything about this subject, Sam. Why are you even here with your arrogance? You don't understand this subject, Sam. You're not telling us which reference frame we observe Coriolis from. You've got it wrong, and you've invented 2 new reference frames. You're thick. How embarrassing.
Yeah, maybe deploy the inertial one?
Maybe.
Dude,
I don't know. Is that your final
options.
answer? You don't seem to know, Sam. You're not giving us an answer in any sort of affirmative. You're not saying it with any assurity in your voice. An upward inflection would imply you haven't got a fucking clue. And we know that. We know you're stupid. I'm very pleased to be pointing that out for an audience. You're thick, Sam. You're a globe believer who thought you could come here to challenge us with your righteous indignation. And you took the high ground. And when demonstrated to be wrong, you thought you could attack me personally. And all that's happened is we've had, what, 3/4 of an hour of me berating you, and totally justified in doing so, and pointing out how stupid you are, and how little you know about Coriolis effect, how you defend the claim as not being the claim. All of these things have had to be pointed out to you, the globe-believing idiot, by me, the righteous flat earther who knows about Coriolis effect. I certainly know which reference frame it's observed from. It's demonstrable on a roundabout.
Maybe the Euclidean inertial reference frame? I'm honestly not sure about it. Or the 4-dimensional
Not
one?
sure? Not sure, fuckwit. You mean you don't fucking know? Oh, well then allow me to educate you, Sam. I know you don't know, Sam. I knew it before you said your first words here. We know you don't know what it is, Sam. Maybe interrupt me while I tell you. It's okay, lad. We know you don't know. So now you can sit down, put your feet up, and have the flat earther who does know educate you. So we all clear what's going to be happening, Sam. I will now educate you on which reference frame Coriolis is observed from, because you don't really know, do you, Sam? Do you want to just confirm what you've just said? That's that you don't really know. Not that we need you to confirm it. We already knew that. Maybe tell me how you are here
Of course,
to
I know the
educate us.
inertial reference frame is the accelerated. Reference.
Sorry, you want to start detailing about stuff you don't know about now, do you, dumb shit? How fucking dare you? Sit down, don't tell me about Coriolis effect. You don't really know, do you? You're going to try and now pretend that you do? Which reference frame is Coriolis effect observed from, Sam, you dumb shit that's now going to babble on about what he knows about Coriolis? You don't know. We've already established that, you arrogant twat. So, let's hear it again. I don't really know. Hello? Get the fuck on with it, you dumb shit. Repeat yourself. I don't really know, do you, Sam?
Maybe isometric reference?
Maybe you don't fucking know what Coriolis is, but yet you think you can challenge flat earthers on it, right?
I have no clue what Coriolis is. You're true.
Mumble to me. No, I want to hear it loud and clear like the dumb shit that you are. I don't really know which reference frame Coriolis is observed from. Let's hear it loud and proud, dumb shit. Let's hear you, the globe-believing idiot, telling the world just how little you know. We've already had it once. I now need it repeating before I educate your dumb ass. I don't know. Chop, chop, Sam. Hello? Either tell us which reference frame it's observed from, or admit again, for clarity for my audience, just how little the globe believer knows about Coriolis. Let's hear it, Sam. Hello, Sam. We're waiting on you, the dumb one who doesn't know the answer to this. We just need a clear acknowledgement, a repetition that you don't really know, and then I'll educate you. Yeah, Sam, that's right. Some humility is required, Sam. That's right. You've got to actually, loud and proud, admit you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, Sam. Have some humility. All of the people around you are going to be really proud if you can do it for them. Just say with a little smile, yeah, you're right. I didn't have a fucking clue. Yeah, I thought I knew what Coriolis was. But all it took was you to ask me which reference frame it's observed from, and this is where we're at. Right, Sam, you dumb shit? How do you feel about telling us that you're here to educate us, Sam? Do you feel like a total wanker? Don't seem to be answering me much, Sam. You just seem to be sat there in dumbfounded silence. Shut down mentally, maybe. Have you shut down mentally, Sam? Certainly seems to be the case. Well, the globe believer's mentally shut down, so we can't move on and educate you in what Coriolis actually is, which reference frame it's observed from, because Sam has shut down mentally. Unless he's berating me, he doesn't want to play. Right, Sam, you dumb shit? Unless you're going to be telling me what's what, you're not going to talk anymore. What gives? What gives, Sam? Not much fun when it's coming in your direction, right? You dumb shit with a globe belief. Not much fun when the flat earthers got you to the point where you don't really know what the fuck you're on about, and the flat earthers highlighting that for an audience. Suddenly you go all quiet. Why aren't you telling me what's what, Sam? I'll tell you why. Because you don't know what's what. You haven't got the slightest clue about how Coriolis works. You don't know how it applies to a globe. But I do, Sam. I do know what Coriolis effect is. I do know how the globe claims it's supposed to be there. And I know how it isn't, Sam. Just so you know. You are the ignorant globe-believing moron. I am the righteous flat earther who understands Coriolis. I hope we're all clear. And in the face of that, Sam can't even give us a little whimper of an acknowledgement because he doesn't have any balls, doesn't have any humility, and certainly doesn't have any respect for me, which is why I have no respect for him. I'm done.
I feel like
Nathan?
if we made some flat Earth nursery rhymes for some of these globers, like it could eventually help them catch on to reality.
Hell no.
Nah. If this is not gonna help them, nothing will. He had the pick of two things, and he was just trying to figure out another option. He had two things to pick from. This is just total mental breakdown. I wonder if he realized.
He was trolling.
I'm about to say, are y'all really that slow,
no,
bro?
he's not trolling.
Really?
He's not trolling.
Really?
No,
I
what
think he
he's
was
doing.
seriously confused.
Oh no, what he's doing, and I just was trying to come in at the start there after Nathan. What he's doing, Nathan, is a tactic the ballers have, where when they're cornered and they're shown to now have a clue about what they're talking about, or to be just completely wrong in their original claim and statements, what they do then is they try and turn it into they were only trolling all along. Instead of admitting they were wrong or accepting defeat or whatever and showing some humility, instead they try and turn it into trying to make the audience, make it seem to the audience that they were only trolling all along. Like, so that means they weren't wrong.
That's what I thought too. Yep.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
No, you don't do it. You
Okay,
don't do it, Hack'em Virus.
Well, hang on a second. Let's
Virus is
address
always
that some.
trolling.
I heard him.
Yeah, but he's
I
not
heard
like-
him. I counted at least 6 reference frames in his discussion. 6, maybe more. So he was trolling. Come on now.
Yeah, but that's only when
he
after
was.
it was pointed out by Nathan
Yeah.
that he didn't know what he was
Yeah,
talking
can't
about.
be this slow,
He
bro.
had two
Hang on. When
things
it was pointed out by Nathan, that he didn't know what he was talking about, suddenly he started trying to pretend he was trolling because it was obvious he didn't know what he was talking about. He couldn't
knew what
say
he was
the correct
talking
reference
about.
frame, and even if
That's
he
right.
could, he wouldn't. He wouldn't say it,
He
and
knew
the
what
reason he
he was
wouldn't say
talking
it
about.
is because
Yeah, he
then-
knew what he was talking about, like you know what you're talking about, Mister.
Yeah, I
Change
know what
your
I'm talking
pants
about,
and don't
too.
leave them. You friggin' bozo! You're another one. Where's that
you gonna-
extremist idiot at? Why don't you give us an education on friggin'
On friggin'?
Yeah, stop that.
lost contact here. Sorry,
Cut out the end.
lost contact. I'm back with you though. Where'd extremist? Oh, he went on deaf and mute.
Virus?
Yeah, Mr. Conservation of Momentum Extremistus. All right.
So I'm just
He's on
wondering,
deaf-
which new inertial, which new reference frame do we think is the funniest? Pre-inertial, post-inertial, mid-inertial. What would you
I
say
like
is
the mid-inertial.
Mid.
That was a good one.
There was another one too. There's one more. I can't remember the name.
isometric? Is the isometric reference frame?
No,
No,
Newtonian
the
inertial,
anisotropic
my
reference frame.
choice.
That's the best one.
Say again, Virus?
I was waiting for an intermission reference frame. Just wait there, guys. I'll get back. I'll come back.
He's
Just
coming
leave the
from
reference
the
frame.
monkey spinning spaceball reference frame.
I think he would have done better if he said my inertial reference. That would have been the best.
Yeah,
one.
the atmosphere spins with the Earth, knucklehead. That is one of the stupidest things. Just a second grader can debunk that just by walking outside feeling an east wind.
I agree.
You got to be some type of moron.
Good job, Keith.
Just
Yeah.
the thought of gases
But I thought that magnetics could,
chasing
could make
around
it.
the Earth at the same. Forget it. Let alone the gases being there in the first place.
Fucking bozos, man. All
The
of them.
level we're at.
Yeah, when we get to the point
Yep.
that they've lost, we
It's
get
logical insanity.
we get stone cold silence. He spent the whole time thinking, I'm on my pedestal telling you what's what. And then when it gets to the point that, oh, right, so you've been proven you don't understand what's what, he just goes on deafen or just disappears completely, goes silent. You're like, all right, I see. That's how it works, is it? We've got to the point where you've been demonstrated wrong, so now you won't play. I see. That's rather embarrassing.
Well, he'll definitely just be pulling the troll card, but as Old Matey was saying, I agree with that. He just realised to push the troll talk, because he knew he couldn't say anything, and that's what he's gonna tell his mates or tell anyone who he's talking to. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, I get it. I lost. Nah, I didn't lose. Nah, I was trolling. Messing around. This guy did it on the first part of the pre-show. Vacuum. I'm just here to laugh at you. All right.
I was in a meeting and I couldn't speak. So now we've got 3 more brand new reference frames for the Coriolis. Is that what's going on?
4 actually.
4
new
awesomeness.
Well, it's
Hey,
just
is that-
a start. There's infinite of them, remember?
I
my
mentioned
God.
at least 10 reference frames.
At least 10?
Samurai.
Oh, fantastic.
Samurai,
What have
you
we
really
missed?
just made up reference frames for this argument, bro?
Is he back in the game, Sam? Okay, everyone else shut up. Back in the game, Sam. Now it's descended into humour. So, which reference frame do you
the
observe?
inertial, the 4-dimensional inertial, the Euclidean inertial, the Newtonian inertial reference frame.
And
Shut up.
Which one is Coriolis deflection observed from, Sam?
It's Arwinian.
Which one was the isometric?
Sam, the question is
reference
not
frame.
can you list as many reference frames as possible? It's which reference frame does Coriolis deflection, which frame is it observed from? Simple.
Yeah, the non-inertial from the ground, but doesn't matter. I'm talking about the post and pre-inertial reference frames.
So it's observed from the non-inertial reference frame. So if it's
the accelerated one.
Okay, and is the deflection based on an actual speed difference or not?
Yeah, based on the different tangential speed of objects, I would say there's a speed difference.
So it's an actual deflection then? No, that's wrong. It's a not actual.
No, the object.
Sorry,
is
my
moving in the
bad.
same
Why is
path.
it that I'm immediately being interrupted when I correct you? Why am I being interrupted, Sam? Is it because you're the dumbest fuck here and you think that you need to interrupt me when I correct you when you're wrong? Because you're wrong. No, there is no actual speed difference. It's a not actual deflection. For example, if I'm on a roundabout looking at a tree deflect, the tree hasn't actually got a speed at all, Sam. So it's not about the speed different. Why am I being interrupted, Sam? Is it because you're getting an education? It took you 40 minutes to figure out non-inertial was the answer. Why am I being interrupted? A total lack of respect when it comes to me explaining this stuff.
I said I was sorry.
So, we're observing a not actual deflection. How can you launch into actual speed differences when it's a not actual deflection? That makes no sense, Sam.
So basically, I want to mention that the object is moving at the same speed and path, but this deflection occurs because the ground below it is moving at a different speed.
We know what your fucking claim is. Sorry, do you think I need you to chant the claim of what is Coriolis effect at me? Yeah, we know. Now we're establishing from the ground, as we see the thing taking this curved path, if it's actually curving because of a speed difference, or if it's a not actual deflection. Do you understand the difference? You don't seem to be clarifying it. You're giving us the rhetoric of Coriolis now. When I'm asking, is it an actual speed change, or is it a not actual speed change?
What?
No, the object doesn't move, doesn't accelerate, decelerate. Of course, due to atmosphere a bit, but...
You seem to be mumbling.
So it
Say
keeps
it clearly.
the same tangential speed.
Sorry,
It keeps the same tangential speed, so there is no change in speed. But
no
the difference is
change in
the ground
speed.
below.
So why would you assert that it would deflect in any way, shape, or form then? If it's not got no change in speed, there is no deflection. What the hell are you babbling about?
Oh, no, that's wrong. Like I said,
if there's no change in speed and they've both got the same speed, then it's not deflecting. That's not wrong. That's just a contradiction. You've contradicted yourself.
Hey, Nathan, maybe you should let him finish and you can understand.
Sorry, is that virus
Nathan,
telling me I
okay.
don't understand?
Yep, that was virus.
Yeah.
So Nathan,
Sorry, virus. You've contradicted
sorry.
yourself. If they're traveling at the same speed, then they're not drifting apart. And I'm asking, if they
So, Nathan,
are... you seem to be interrupting me again while I gain clarity. So if they are drifting apart, is it because there's an actual speed of the drift, or is it just merely an effect that seems to happen but isn't really? Is it actually having a speed change or not? You're saying 1000 compared to 1001. That's a difference in speed. And I'm asking, is Coriolis actual differences in actual speed, like you're asserting, or not?
It's a difference in actual speeds between the bullet, for example, and the ground below it. So if you shoot a bullet northwards from the equator, the ground below it will move slower as further you go on. For example, in the 10th latitude, it will the ground will only move at 1021 miles per hour. And then at 20 degrees latitude north, it will move at 974 miles per hour. But the bullet will stay at the, let's say, 1040 miles per hour, which it had on the equator. And that's why this deviation occurs.
That's not Coriolis effect.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, that's not Coriolis effect. Do you want me to detail what Coriolis effect is? Given that we have already established that it took you 25 minutes to a Google search which reference frame this effect is observed from. So given that this effect is observed from the non-inertial turning reference frame, you're saying that if I'm on a non-inertial turning reference frame, like a roundabout for the sake of argument, and I fire a bullet, you're saying that the bullet will follow along with me on the roundabout after it leaves the barrel? And there'll only be a slight difference.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you've just said. You've said it tracks along at the same rate and then there's a minor difference if you go north. So if I'm on a roundabout facing north and I fire a sniper's bullet off it, you're saying the bullet will track along with the fucking roundabout? Cat got your tongue?
What could I get off Lite?
Yo, has cat got your tongue when it comes to my example transposed onto a roundabout? Does this not happen on a roundabout then?
If you throw a ball up the...
Sniper's bullet, your example. Fire sniper's bullet. And according to you, we'll only get a small difference. In other words, the bullet's going to move along with the roundabout I've fired it from.
No, it will stay in the same path you shot it.
So it won't move with the roundabout?
The bullet doesn't care about anything, but the ground below it changes. And that...
I see. So it doesn't care about the ground beneath it turning then. So it doesn't move along with the ground. It just moves separately of the ground moving beneath it. Cat got your tongue? Need a few minutes to process
I've explained
this?
it many times already.
So the bullet is completely separate of the ground turning beneath it, correct?
Yeah, you could say so.
But that's shortened flight times because a plane in the air is completely detached like a bullet, and then apparently, according to you, the ground's going to turn beneath it, totally irrelevant of the plane's path. Yeah, like Coriolis is asserted. If that was the case, and the plane travelled... Why am I getting interrupted, Coward Fundy, who needs to interrupt the summary? So, according to you, bullet travels through the air, and given that we're going to observe this effect from the ground as we turn beneath it, the bullet has nothing to do with the ground beneath it turning. That's what you've just said. Well, if that was the case on an Earth that spins, then a plane would have Earth turning beneath it, and the flight times would be shortened, because the plane has got nothing to do with the ground turning beneath it for us to observe the drift from the ground.
Could I get off live mute, please? I want to post something else in chat to back me up.
Sorry, flight time should be reduced. Bullet travels through air. Ground turns beneath it. Two not connected. That's what you've just said. So plane travels through the air. Earth turns beneath it according to the globe Earth claim. That would shorten flight times. New subject? Few more seconds to process it, maybe. The contradiction, the conclusion.
The difference on 10 kilometers altitude is 1 kilometer per hour.
Sorry, we're observing this from the ground as the projectile moves independently of us turning beneath it. Why are you now detailing an example that has a bullet on a roundabout moving with the roundabout? That's not Coriolis. I've already told you that.
No, I'm talking about the plane. I'm talking about the plane.
Yeah, according to you, to have Coriolis observable from the ground, the plane needs to leave the ground and we need to turn beneath it. Separate. Independent of one another, right?
Nathan,
like the
I'm
bullet.
not sure if you're describing like...
Sorry, independent of one another, like you just said, right? The bullet and the roundabout beneath it are totally separate from each other? Yeah. And the plane would be totally separate from Earth turning beneath it in your example. And that would shorten flight times. You need a new subject?
Flight times are shorter from west to east.
So therefore Earth isn't turning beneath them then?
But flight times are shorter.
Sorry, so therefore Earth is not turning beneath them for us to observe Coriolis effect then?
I wouldn't say so.
Well, then we don't have Earth turning beneath stuff to give us Coriolis effect then. So there is no Earth-based Coriolis effect. Earth is not turning beneath stuff. We do not observe this effect. Earth is not turning. Chant
Nathan,
for me.
The citation
Chant for me. Chant. Chant that it is. Chant that it is turning. Chant for me. Chant for me. Chant for me. Chant that it is turning.
Nathan, could I first get off live stream? I would like to put something in chat.
Sorry,
Please,
if we have Coriolis, we're observing planes drift because we're turning beneath them. And according to you, you wouldn't expect that to happen. So you wouldn't expect to see Earth-based Coriolis then. Yeah, we're all in agreement now. Good. We're all in agreement. We would not expect to see Earth-based Coriolis, even though it's asserted to be the case with pendulums and gyros and bullets and footballs. We wouldn't expect to see it in a plane, though, even though that's what should happen if we were turning. We're not.
It happens.
Chant for me. Chant that we're turning anyway. Go on, chant for me.
God.
We are
you're saying the flight times would be shorter? Of course they are, but not significant.
Sorry. So you're saying
because the difference is 1 kilometer per hour. 1 kilometer per hour. So in 4 hours.
Right, we've covered this. Do you need to chant round in a circle? Coriolis is observed from the ground. Did you forget 10 minutes ago when I covered this, you thick shit? Do you need me to repeat it, you thick shit? Coriolis is observed from the ground as you turn beneath stuff. We got to the point only about 3 minutes ago where you very clearly made it explicit. The bullet turns not because you're attached to the roundabout, they're separate from one another. Therefore, plane separate from a turning Earth, and for us to observe Coriolis, we are turning beneath it. That negates your I've got a 2 differing speeds thing. No, not actual effect, mate. We covered this about 5 minutes ago. Thick? Short memory? Cognitive dissonance? Which is it? Hello? Thicko? Covered this. Observed from the ground. For your effect.
So Nathan, that's why...
So it's observed from the ground.
Because
it's observed from the ground, not actual deflection. Hello? Maybe an acknowledgement. Maybe talk through me constantly and ignore me. Maybe talk through me constantly and ignore me. Observed from the ground, mate. Your effect on a globe Earth is Coriolis. That's observed from the ground. We're not talking about the plane and its differences and how little they'd be, because it's not actual deflection from the ground as you turn beneath, not attached, right? Like when you explain that to me with the bullet on a roundabout, not attached, separate. Yeah, that's Coriolis, mate. We've got that. I know it's a slow process with you Googling stuff you claim to know but don't, but we're there now. You understand that for Earth to have Coriolis, it'd be turning underneath planes, so we could look up at them and see them seem to drift as we turn beneath them. So from your side of this argument, you can't now launch into what the plane does, because that's not Coriolis. And your globe Earth claims Coriolis. Me, on the other hand, I can say if you've got Coriolis, observable from the ground as we turn beneath stuff, that would shorten flight times. Now, when you rebut that with, but the plane is doing this, that's not Coriolis anymore, and we only care about your globe claim that we do have it, not your justification for why you don't. We all clear?
Nathan, I have measurements for this deviation.
So you think we need the circle jerk fundy, roundy round, dosey-do, where you tell us about the measurements of something that doesn't occur? Sorry, you've got measurements for not actual drift we're not observing in aeroplanes, my friend. We're not observing it. Earth's not turning beneath
Nathan,
aeroplanes for us to see them drift.
A citation for that, first of all.
Sorry, you're now going to try that one? Wow, we're getting through these quickly. So now it's, I've got to prove my claim that Earth turns under planes? You abject clown. It's not my claim, dipshit. Hello, Simon Dan. Notice how he's used your trick? Well, go get me a citation for your claim Earth turns under planes. Yeah, I'm a flat earther, mate. I don't think Earth spins. I'm not stupid. I understand what Coriolis is and how we'd have to be turning underneath aeroplanes to observe it. Now, that's me debunking it, thick shit, not claiming it. Hello? I don't need to cite my debunking of your fucking claim.
Hello.
Yeah, you need Earth to turn under planes, and it doesn't.
That flight times should be reduced.
Yeah, because to observe Coriolis, that would be planes seeming to drift, because we're turning underneath them, then we'd be turning underneath them, my friend.
The important word is at a different rate. The different rate is an important word.
Yeah, to have Coriolis, we're on an Earth that's spinning, looking at planes, drifting, because we're turning underneath them at a different rate. Yeah, that's fascinating. It's just a shame it doesn't happen.
Oh, this guy's thicker than Ed.
They're all
That
as
makes
stubborn.
Ed sound smart.
They can't quite believe it, right? Nah, we must be spinning. Can't possibly be the case that this flat earther is whipping me around with my non-understanding of Coriolis and telling me how it doesn't happen, pointing out that the claim that we've got Earth turning underneath stuff to cause not actual deflection would shorten flight times. And when he tries to justify how it doesn't occur, I say, who cares? Your globe claims Coriolis only observable from the ground, so your justification for why we don't see it is irrelevant. You need to see it. You need planes to drift. And for them to do it, we've got to turn underneath them, and that'll shorten flight times, and it doesn't happen. End of your argument. I know it sends your brain into total overdrive, because you still think you're on a spinning sphere, you abject clown.
I think we should move on from Coriolis and go to gravity. What do you think?
Another reference point for the
Yeah, you
argument.
think we should move on?
Do
No.
that.
I don't think we should. I think you should understand that we should be turning underneath aeroplanes for us to observe them seem to drift. That's the claim Earth had. You were all for telling me how I didn't understand this stuff. Now you want to move on. Now I've got to the point where your claim that Earth turns underneath stuff for us to see it seem to drift would leave flight time shortened. Yeah, you've got nowhere to go from there. We've debunked Earth turning. Moving on. No, not moving at all, mate. Earth's not spinning. We'd see drift.
It's like a rookie coming into a gym and challenging the champ.
We'd see drift. Hello, we'd see drift. We'd see drift. We'd see the planes drifting and the helicopters drifting and the drones drifting away 1,000 miles an hour. Something you denied? Yeah, we'd see that and we don't.
The drone is not drifting away at 1,000 miles per hour.
That's correct. Absolutely. We're all in agreement at long last. Earth is definitely not turning. Drones are not drifting away at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator as we turn underneath them to observe Coriolis effect. They'd need to be drifting away at 1,000 miles an hour for us to observe non-actual deflection called Coriolis effect, but according to Sam, he now understands. That's not happening. We don't have Coriolis effect.
Move in lockstep with the Earth, Sam. How the hell does that happen?
Took a long due to friction.
Sorry, you're now justifying why we don't have drift? It seems that Sam has gone in this circle jerk twice in the last 3 minutes. Sorry, if Earth and atmosphere travel as one, then you're not observing things move away from you as you turn beneath them. So you're saying you fire a bullet on a roundabout and the bullet moves along with the roundabout? That's not Coriolis, Sam. Didn't we cover this about 7 minutes ago? You thick shit.
Wait, wasn't he the one telling us about this ball falling from a tower that was apparently deviating as well?
And now he's
Yes.
got them moving together because it doesn't happen. He's pointed out that drones don't drift away at 1,000 miles an hour on the equator, and is now justifying why it doesn't happen. So he's now arguing for there being no drift. What a thicko.
That's a shame.
Well, what he's
But we
mostly
measured
doing
this deviation. We
is
predicted
stepping
the
away from
deviation, and we
natural
measured this
consequences
deviation.
Oh,
of the drift.
it's same circle, fourth time in a row. We can measure this effect of planes seeming to drift as we turn underneath them. We can calculate that Earth turn under planes for us to see them seem to drift at 15 degrees an hour. No, your calculations are totally nonsensical because it would shorten flight times if we were turning under planes to see them seem to drift. Do you want me to prove my claim that Earth's turning under planes again? Maybe flip the burden of proof again.
74 was your counter.
So we've had 2 attempts at saying Earth and atmosphere attached. We've had 1 attempt to burden proof reversal fallacy and get me to cite that Earth turns under planes. Right, Thicko? Any more you want to circle jerk your way through again for a second time?
Scientific evidence of this drift.
I'm asking if you still want to chant.
Scientific evidence, of course.
Oh, wow. Flail your way to scientific evidence. For what? I'm not claiming anything, dipshit.
Evidence.
For what? I'm not claiming anything, dipshit. Do you not realise that you're here claiming Coriolis effect for a globe, you stupid idiot? What are you asking for scientific evidence for? This isn't my claim. Hello? Simon Dan? Maybe you could pick up that little nugget. Ask for scientific evidence of my claim that Earth turns underneath as a non-inertial turning reference frame. So you can debunk the reference frames, Dan? You total idiot! Yeah, this isn't my claim. What are you asking for scientific evidence of? Hello? What scientific evidence of what? I'm not claiming anything.
Or is that the mid-inertial?
Yeah, or maybe it was the post-inertial, I'm not sure.
Yeah, don't turn this into your dumb fuckery like you've trolled the whole time. Sorry, are you asking me to provide scientific evidence of your claim that we see things drift because we're turning beneath them? Why are you asking me for scientific evidence?
I have stuff. This evidence. I have measurements. We made predictions and we made experiments.
I see. How much drift do you expect to see underneath the plane as we turn beneath it?
To confirm our predictions.
Okay, how much do you predict we'll see Earth turn under a plane as it's not attached anymore? Is it 15 degrees an hour?
We're talking about balls right now.
We're talking about balls, of course. Me, I'm talking about things that would have a natural drift. He's talking about balls.
Yeah, Nathan, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this topic, but
I'm very familiar with balls. Yeah, I often teabag people like you with mine.
I know.
Yeah, I know too. It's fun because clowns like you have to Google search which reference frame drift is observed from, and then go on and on about how you've got these things moving at different rates, actual speed changes, and yet when you've Google searched it and figured out that it's only observable from the ground, that would be things drifting, you got a bit of a problem because planes don't drift from the ground, do they?
We're talking about a ball right now, which is...
No, can't talk about anything that we observe actually happening. We've got to talk about balls being dropped in 1893, haven't we?
Something which we actually observed.
You actually observed this ball in 1893, did you?
To use actual evidence. I'm just allowed to use evidence which isn't evidence.
Well, I don't want evidence that isn't evidence. Evidence means proof.
I can give you evidence of this drift. I can give you measurements. I can give you predictions and an experiment which was done to confirm this drift. And we saw this drift.
Excellent. What was the experiment?
And it matched
Excellent.
with the predictions.
Excellent. Okay, you don't have to keep giving me your list like you're so confident in the shite that you had no idea what it was half an hour ago. What experiment have you got?
I've shown you. Could you take me off live mute so I can show you?
No, we just need to know what it is called, and then we'll establish what the dependent variable is, what the independent variable is, and the null. So what's the name?
That's going to be fun. Wait 1 second, I need to Google search the name.
Give me the dependent variable. What's the observed natural phenomena?
He has to look it up first. He has to Google it.
Why are you talking, Arwin? What's going on? What's the dependent variable, please? Observe natural phenomena.
The dependent variable is the deviation of a falling object on a sphere, on a moving sphere.
Sorry, that's an assumption of a moving sphere. You're assuming your outcome. You're begging the question. Don't beg the question. Just tell me what was observed in nature.
The first part of the scientific method, also called the observation, is an event, an phenomena, or a problem. These three things can be used to make an observation. Einstein, for example, made a thought experiment which led...
Sorry, I don't give a fuck. What's the natural phenomena that we're observing? What's occurring in nature that we need to concern ourselves with? That's all I want to know.
You can also use a problem or an event.
I don't give a fuck about a maths problem. This isn't a maths forum. This is a physics forum. We're talking about physics. That's physical. What's physically happening in nature? That's all I give a shit about.
That's your personal opinion then, because science says I can use a...
I don't need electron science. I need to know the dependent variable.
Yep, the deviation on rotating spheres. Or
that's a maths problem. In nature, what are we observing?
No, I can use that. It's a problem, an event, or an phenomena. I have a problem in geometry.
That's maths. Get the fuck. Get out and go to a maths forum. Piss off to a maths forum. No, we don't care about your maths problem. That's abstract. You stupid idiot. You are not going to give us a maths problem. Okay? I want to know. This is... Shut up. We are only interested in natural science. I'm interested in the physics of the world we're living in, not the abstract descriptions in maths. So while you might be able to say, I can do what I'm going to call an experiment with maths, I couldn't give a shit. I'm only interested in the physics of the nature of the world I experience. That is all I'm interested in. So if we're doing natural science...
Let's make a thought experiment then, because...
No, fuck you with your thought experiment. That's all the globe is. That's the point, right, ladies and gentlemen? All the globe is a bloody thought experiment. Yeah, we've got deflection in a thought experiment. Yeah, we've got an earth turn in a model, a thought experiment. Yeah, we've got a sky vacuum in a thought experiment. No! We are flat earthers, and we are exclusively interested in the physical and natural world, not your globe thought experiment.
Nathan, we can use thought
So are you telling us that
observation.
the Coriolis effect is in the same place as the geometric horizon in the maths? Is that what you're telling us?
Can be.
It seems like you're only
Problem
telling us it's in a problem, in a mathematical problem, because we don't see this shit in nature. Because if we did, you would just say, hey, look, go outside. You can see it in nature.
We don't.
And all this time, you've come down to a thought experiment? That's pathetic, bro.
That's what it boils down to. I'm glad he said it. That's what this boils down to. I say, where do we see Earth-based Coriolis effect in nature? Answer, we don't. It only exists in maths. It's a thought experiment. It doesn't happen in nature. We're not experiencing drift. So that's the conclusion. Do we have Earth turn? Well, we do in a mathematical thought experiment, but not in reality. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you, first and foremost, to both Discord and G Plus Panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Also, below this video, there is a link to get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!